Underground Asylum. We out here again. OG Boxing Talk, the coronavirus version. Panel getting smaller and smaller. That's what's up, man. What's good with you? What's going on with you, Drew?
Ain't nothing, man. Chilling, man. We in the belly of the beast in New York City, man. But we holding it down, man. We holding it down.
Man, crazy, 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 man. So let's talk. Let's chop it up, man. Get right into it, man. Probably be me and you talking this morning.
Oh,
But
bro.
so, man, so Pauli Malignaggi out there saying racism doesn't exist. Tell me about what happened on the show last night with Fred and in the conversation about Pauli.
Yeah, man. Fred had on Steve Cunningham, man. It's a down to earth brother, man. Shout out to Steve, man. You know, this you want to talk about a solid dude who stands on his square, man. That's Steve, man. We got a lot of guys, a lot of fighters um that have the same thought process, man. He was on there, he was chopping it up, and actually the title of Fred's show was in reference to what Paulie said. And they just went in on him, and I had just got in the house and I had some time and I beamed in, and we all chopped it up on just overall racism. And what's happening here with what Paulie's saying is actually symbolic to what black people go through on a grand scale. Boxing is just a small aspect of life. Well, for me it is, but how we're treated is symbolic to how black people are treated historically, and how a guy like Paulie could say what he says and pretty much get away with it. Devin Haney could say what he says, and immediately 24 hours later, they forced a young man to apologize. Whether you agree with it or not, he was forced into apologizing. Paulie just said something crazy inflammatory, and people will argue me down that it wasn't racist what he just said. All right, it's not racist.
What is it racist?
He said that the era of the black fighter is over. European fighters, pretty much in short, European fighters are the shit right now, is what he's saying, and we're over. Now, let me ask you this: Deontay Wilder comes back, he knocks out Fury, and he says, "You know what? Moving forward, I'm not fighting no more black fighters." All right, just marinate on that for a second. The headlines would be crazy. They'd be going crazy on him, and they'd be calling him racist. Oh, I knew it. He's a racist. And let's just say the Charlo brothers say, we ain't fighting no more black fighters. All right. Let's say Rigondeaux, all the way down there in his weight division, says, I'm not fighting no more black fighters. And he says in Spanish because he don't speak a lick of English. And then Ugas and Ortiz, they saying, we're not fighting black fighters. We're not fighting black fighters. And Keith Thurman says, I'm light skinned, but I ain't fighting no more black fighters. Do you know the fucking sport will grind to a halt? You know why? Because the majority of the fighters that are worth a damn are black fighters. So Paulie, outside of Tyson Fury and Vasyl Lomachenko, who the fuck is dominating the sport? You're going to tell me Liam Callum over there in the UK is going to hold it down? These are the guys to watch out for? Huh? Frampton, Quigg, those are the guys? You kidding me? If black fighters say we're not fighting each other, what are the white fighters going to do? What are the European fighters going to do? We still run shit, Paulie. So stop trying to push this bullshit narrative. I already see people siding with him. I already see it, man. I'm not on Twitter. I have an account. I don't use it. But I'm on there like reading shit. And I'm like, wow, look at this. The brilliant thing about the internet is that you really get to see what people are. You know what I'm saying? You could say something and say, I didn't mean it. But when you take time to type it out, you're telling me exactly who you are, and I believe you. Paulie's been this way. He's a Toucan Sam looking long beak racist out of fucking Brooklyn. I could tell you all about his neighborhood, where he's from. I could tell you all about it, man. Blue Blood and Fred said they went to the pizza shop out there, and he said, look, I'm telling you right now, the pizza smell good. It might be authentic Italian pizza, but they don't want us here. They went in there and sat down. Don't you know the police came and sat down next to them? That really happened. That's a true story. All right? I could tell you all about that part of Brooklyn. New York is very segregated. Right up here by me, there's an Irish neighborhood called Katona Avenue. An Irish, I'm not talking about guys that are here with Irish great grandparents. No, they're off the boat Irish people on that long ass block off of 233rd. All right, that's an Irish neighborhood. You don't want to walk down there. A person of color, you don't want to walk down there on the right night. You'll get fucked up. You'll get fucked up. My boy had a fight up there like in the 90s. He was his classic story. His car broke down. He pulled into a gas station, told the gas station guy, yo, look, my car's broken. I'm going to walk down here and get some help. Can I just leave it here? I threw you a couple of dollars. He was walking off the block, and these redhead and blonde-haired, blue-eyed, green-eyed dudes jumped on him for no reason, out of nowhere. He said, I turned the corner. They just jumped on me. I'm fighting. They done whipped this earring out his goddamn ear, and then they ran off. He called the police. You know what the police said? All right, we're gonna take your report, but yo, man, why are you up here? And he was like, what? He said, why are you? Look at this neighborhood, man. Look at the flags. Why are you up here? Like they blaming the victim, in a sense. They were blaming the victim, like, yo, they were telling him you was in the wrong neighborhood, man. You had to know this was gonna happen. But he only been living in New York. He came up here from Virginia. He had been living in New York for like a month. He didn't know. And it's crazy because all the way down the hill and up 233rd, it's on White Plains Road, it's all West Indian, Jamaicans, Trinidadians. You understand? So for Paula to say that, and it's like that today, in 2020, it's like that right now. So for him to say that racism doesn't exist, you gonna tell me this shit is in my mind?
Paula, you don't have to. Real quick, Full of Sports, it's on his Twitter feed. Go to Steve Cunningham's Twitter feed and look at the response he has when he talks about how upsetting it is when you find out one of your favorite people in boxing are racist. And Steve Cunningham is a former cruiserweight champion. He fought Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury first came over the United States. A mainstay in American boxing, Steve Cunningham. Go check out his page. That's where he's responding to a debate that's taken place between Pauli Malignaggi and somebody else. But Pauli Malignaggi most definitely said that shit. But the thing to me that was racist about, the thing that I thought was kind of, I don't even like using the word, but that Pauli Malignaggi said about black fighters, the thing wasn't, for me, it wasn't that he said that Eastern Europeans are dominating. That's just fucking stupid. Because there's only 3 of them that are champions. 4 of them tops that are champions, Eastern Europeans. They're like 15 or 16 black champions to 4. So, I mean, Paulie's just talking out the side of his ass with that, just based off fucking numbers. The thing that pissed me off is that he referred to people as a species, a different species.
Wait, I missed that.
People a different species. See, that's not racist. That's true or not true. Whether or not Eastern Europeans are the most dominant group of people in boxing. But he used the word species. We are all the same species. We're not a separate species. And that shit is that you can call this shit a Freudian slip or he's ignorant, one or the fucking other. And if he's too stupid to know what the word species means, then he needs to shut the fuck up. And what is he doing? Why the fuck is he even commenting on TV if he doesn't know what the word species means?
That's like when motherfuckers say
animal. That's what it means.
Yeah.
It means we are not the same. That is the essence of fucking racism. That's the essence of it, is that we were basically a different group of people. They were not the same group of people that just have where one person has more, melanin in their skin, or somebody's hair curls differently than somebody else's hair curls. He referred to black people as a different species.
He meant what he said.
You cannot get any more racist than that. You cannot get any more racist than that. If I had to choose between somebody, which is more racist, somebody spitting in your face and calling you a nigga, or somebody referring to you as a different species, I would refer to the species It's the more racist statement. One can be an insult where they're getting mad at you. The other one is basically talking about your fundamental nature as a human being, being different than his. It's the word species that's racist, not the comparison, comparing what the boxers did. That shit's just stupid. You know what I mean? You can't, if Pauli Malignaggi, you can't have a debate about that shit. I will just bring up, name your champions, let me name my champions. Okay, how many Eastern European champions are there? There's Beterbiev, there's Bivol, there's Lomachenko, there's fuck else. There's somebody down there with Lomachenko, Beterbiev, Bivol. Who's another one?
You want to say Fury now?
Not Fury. Fury's from the
at cruiserweight. At cruiserweight, what's the other dude? The dude had lost to
Gassiev.
Gassiev moved up to heavyweight. The other guy who fought Usyk.
Who? Bradis?
Bradis. Yeah, Bradis. Yeah.
I don't even know if he's Eastern European, but give it to him. That doesn't sound Eastern European. That shit sounds more like. They make not Irish or what. It sounds some other shit, but whatever. Give him fucking 5. You know what I mean? Give him 5.
Still ain't close.
It ain't fucking close. It's not. It's a fucking third. So what are you talking about? It's a third. It's a third. Because I go from the top to bottom. 168. There's not one at 175. There's not one at 168. There is 154. There's 2. 147. There's 2. 135. There's 1, 2. It's the number somewhere around 13. The summer is around 13. 13. So that's just, okay, who has more champions? Who has more contenders? Because not even talk about champions, then talk about fucking contenders. Then it's not, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is at heavyweight. It's just, because I was doing the Americans. No, it's that.
Nah, he was just talking about blacks, so you count all the blacks. That's what he was talking about.
You count all the blacks. There's like there's like 16, 17 black world champions. To 4 Eastern European champions. That's not even, the comparison's not even close.
When he said species.
Matter of fact, Black Americans are close to being if you look at champions, Black Americans are close, there's more Black American champions than there are champions in the UK. Just in Black Americans, if you want to break it down into Black Americans. There's more Black American champions in the United States than there are champions in the UK. There's more Black American champions than there are champions in the Ukraine. It's not a close comparison. What he's talking about with his dumb ass is who's getting the most publicity and who is ESPN talking about the most.
Remember, he's a MAGA guy, and that should tell you everything you need to know about Pauli Malignaggi. He's a MAGA.
That shit don't tell me everything I need to know. His stupid ass calling motherfuckers a different species.
When he said the species?
Hold on one second, man. Let me get the super chats, and I'll come back, man. I'm sorry, man. I did run off a little bit. My man says salute. Hated or love it said Drew be kicking some real ish. Yes, he does. Wada says salute to the OGs. Finally caught the show live, man. Absolutely happy to have you here. Big Dog Willie said good morning and fuck Billy and White all day, every day. Brothers UK said peace, brother Fanon. Drew always a great commentator. To talk, contributor to Boxing Talk, and no doubt about it. Stone Love, my man from the Shy, says, salute. My question is, why aren't the forces that be forcing little Pauli to apologize? I'm tired of these culture vultures disrespecting our people. Because, shit, I don't know. You answer that question. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying, Drew, and then pass it to Callie. Because I'm sorry, I did cut you off. That's my apology.
Yeah, I was just curious. You know that because I didn't read his comment, I just heard about it, and I already knew what it was, and I jumped in. But I totally missed. If I'd have saw or heard him say species, I'd have immediately jumped on that. Is that in writing? Did he say that on Twitter, or did he say it in general conversation?
He said that in the interview. the interview that he had where he was talking about Devin Haney having said that a white boy will never beat him. And then he started up by saying something to the effect of maybe Devin Haney, maybe that was true in the 60s, 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, but it's not true now because boxing goes through different phases, where Italians are on top. Like, what the fuck? What fucking world? When the fucking Willie Pep? What the fuck are you? What period of time were Italians on top of boxing? Stupid motherfucker. When were they ever on top of boxing? But anyway, he mentions that sometimes it was the Irish, and now the dominant species. The dominant species is Eastern Europeans. So when he refers to the Eastern European as the dominant species, he's saying that he says species. So they're more dominant than the black species. In order for them to be the dominant species, they have to be in a separate species from black fighters. And it's the use of the word species that fucking tells you. And I know people will say, oh, that's just a slip. He was looking for the word group. No, motherfucker, you know what species means. Your ass brought that shit out and said it. And if Devin Haney is not going to, because I'm trying to get rid of the objection ahead of time that, he didn't really mean species. Fuck that. Then Devin Haney didn't really mean white boy.
That's it.
If you get to say you really didn't fucking mean it, what came out your fucking mouth, then fuck it. Everybody else. And hey, Luke TT, he used species in the wrong context. Get over it. No. How about this? How about I throw your bitch ass out of here?
Yo, get the fuck out of here, man.
And you take that shit the other way. Fuck out of here. You never gonna give motherfuckers breaks for using the wrong fucking word. Fuck out of here.
They wouldn't, especially not us. They would never give us a break for anything.
Because you could do it. Fuck it. He didn't mean white boy then. He didn't mean white boy. He meant no European. He meant no Ukrainian. That's what he meant. He meant Ukrainian. He didn't mean white boy. Are you gonna get off his ass for that? You're on top of fucking Deontay Wilder for saying some shit that ain't even on fucking tape anywhere. Fucking some dude from some cat standing around him asking him some fucking questions. He's off the fucking record completely, and he's wondering why the fuck he lost. And he's like, man, I don't know. It could have been this, could have been that. I don't know. Fucking get out of my fucking face. I just lost. And they take some fucking quote and assign it to him. And ever since then, everybody's asking, well, why are you blaming it on your headgear? You're blaming it on your headgear. And he didn't even intend to communicate that shit to you. But Pauli Malignaggi's ass pauses, looks for a fucking word and finds it. And I'm not supposed to listen to what he fucking said? The fuck out of here. The day that people start giving excuses to other people for not meaning the words that came out of their fucking mouth, then maybe I won't say that I won't hold Pauli Malignaggi responsible for what came out of his fucking mouth. But seeing as his mumble fucking lip got enough fucking, since he got enough fucking nerve to be trying to debate people about whether racism exists, like, are you fucking trying to debate somebody about whether water's wet, you fucking moron? But since he's so educated that people can't come up with arguments and statistics and numbers for him, I assume that he's intelligent enough to know what the fucking word species means, and I'm gonna hold his bitch ass responsible for using the word species. And fuck you for trying to, he just used it in the wrong context. First of all, dumbass, he didn't use it in the wrong context. What you mean is that he used the wrong word to describe what he meant. You could say he meant another word, not that he used it in the wrong context. Fuck ass. Go learn what fucking context means.
You see how he ran? You see how these motherfuckers ran to his fucking defense just that quick? You see that?
He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. Look at him. Look at his smile. He's fair. He's nice.
Yeah, stand on your square, motherfucker. Say, yo, he meant it. Say it. Because we heard Devin. We heard Devin and we just ain't say nothing. He meant what he said, and it is what it is.
Drew, they will fucking turn around. They will say, when Deontay Wilder says he wants to catch a body, right? Mm-hmm. They take that shit literally as fuck. Oh, but he's not just talking shit to sell a fight. No, he means it. He's terrible. So if Pauli's ass slips up and says, nigga, I mean species, I mean then I'm gonna hold him responsible for what the fuck he said. Go ahead, Callie.
Nah, he definitely meant what he said, bro. I'm not trying to hear none of that other stuff. There's no take backs. I take him for what he says. What I've learned when it comes to this race shit, I believe. Which when you say something, I believe you. I've been on this earth too long. My parents have been through too much. My grandparents have been through too much. My great grandparents have been through too much. My great great grandparents and so on have been through too much. If anybody knows racism, it's black people. We know what it is. You can try to act like we don't know. We know what you mean. That you can't tell us what we don't know. We've experienced too much. We experience it every day. But for you guys to try to tell us that we don't know what somebody meant, bullshit. We know. We know. And you guys know that we know, which is why you guys get offended all the time, because we're able to call out so much racism, because it's regular. And what reality is from you racists, you guys want us to just accept it and just normalize it and just be okay with it because it happens every single day. No. When you're racist, I'm gonna call it out. But I'm happy that you let us know who you are, because then we get to look at you from that lens. So it's just America. And whenever I hear white folks try to tell us that racism doesn't exist anymore, and usually they use word, well, we elected Obama. That's the metric to decide whether racism isn't here. Isn't that funny how that always gets you? Well, you guys, we elected a black president, so that's proof that racism is dead. Hey, get out of here.
Please. Oh, Callie, wait, hold on. Right. Don't you love it when they say, "Oh, racism is dead"? I mean, you got guys like Jay-Z and Michael Jordan. They made it.
Yeah,
they go to the highest level of black person and say that, if they can do it, we can do it. You pick two motherfuckers out of a billion. Get the fuck out of here. And
Drew, you want to fucking test? This is the perfect test for people say shit like that. Okay, Michael Jordan. How much is Michael Jordan worth? How much money is he worth?
Billionaire.
Just give a number.
1.3 billion or something like that.
1.3 billion. Okay, Pauli, how much money would it cost for you to be black? To change places with Michael Jordan? How much money would you think it would be worth? Them motherfuckers are gonna say 500 million. That's how much money would it cost you? Let's just test. How much money would you say in order for you to be black? How much money would they have to pay you for you to become black?
Yep.
Your ass is going to say, people were asked that question in the test. People were saying $500 million, $50 million, $100 million. That's how much money they said in this group of people that were asked. How much money would they have to pay you for you to become black? They put hundreds of millions of dollars as the price tag on that shit. You know what that means? For the people that answer the question that way, that's how much being white is worth. How many, black people, how much would they have to pay, if you had to ask a lot of black people, how much would you pay to be a white person? How much would you pay to be a white person? Not how much would they have to pay you? How much would you be willing to pay to get out of the bullshit that you perceive? A lot of money would be the answer to that shit. And then Pauli Malignaggi's dumbass, that's the thing that got me. Because dude, Pauli, you're a fucking idiot. Okay, let's just cut this to the fucking chase. Okay, you know how people say you don't know shit about boxing? Like, if I was to talk to Pauli and talk about how a guy should go about a fight, and they would be like, man, dude, you're not a professional fighter. Let the pros talk about it. Pauli, you're a fucking moron. Do not talk about racism. You don't know shit about it. You might fucking be a high school graduate. You fucking might be. Maybe a fucking high school graduate from fucking Bensonhurst. You're a fucking uneducated fucking dick. So shut the fuck up.
But you know where this comes from too.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There ain't any fucking reason to be having a debate with somebody about whether racism exists. Their entire fucking organizations of PhDs dedicating their life to trying to solve the fucking problem. So they're not wondering, we're way past whether it fucking exists or not. You had under the Obama administration, they did a review of where Michael Brown was choked out by that policeman. When they sent Eric Holder in to go look at what the policies and procedures related to criminal justice were, for lack of a better way to say that, in Ferguson, Missouri, they found a system specifically rigged to punish and ticket people in the black community as a way to incarcerate them, and also to create such a pressure on their fines that whatever public assistance that they did get and minimum wage jobs that they did get, a tremendous portion of that went to funding the police department. And that's why they're in the neighborhoods writing ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket, trying to derive revenue from tickets, from fines, from court fees, from the fact that if somebody doesn't pay their court fee, they get incarcerated, and they have federal funding and state funding that's allocated to them for that. They broke down that fucking system very, very thoroughly. You have books by Michelle Alexander going over it in great fucking detail. These are people with PhDs, JDs, LLMs, dedicating their fucking life to trying to recognize and solve the fucking problem. And your dumb ass is sitting around on fucking Twitter thinking some fucking moron, somebody got to prove to you that it even fucking exists. You're a fucking racist. And there's no fucking way around it. Nobody would say that shit that is not. Because everybody has a fucking pair of eyes, dude. You're like fucking sitting there trying to talk to somebody from New York, telling them that Corona ain't real. When you have Drew Titan sitting here talking about who he buried yesterday and who he might, and all the people getting buried, we're getting phone calls from people that we know that have died. Get the fuck out of here. There's been way more black people that have died from racism than people in New York have died from coronavirus. But your bitch ass is standing up there fucking trying to act like you don't know whether or not it exists, and you're some fucking body that somebody needs to waste their breath talking to convince. If your dumb ass don't understand that it's there, then you are just a motherfucker. You're either motherfucking stupid as fuck, too stupid to even get up the fucking stairs to have a fucking boxing match, which you managed to do. So I have to assume you're just a fucking racist. You got fucking Mexicans getting balled up, snatched up by fucking ICE and thrown out the fucking country. And you're saying it doesn't exist? Go tell that shit to the little kids that got snatched out of their mother's arms. And while their parents got fucking deported. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, you're not talking. Oh, Mexicans. Well, you're probably not talking about Mexicans. You're talking about black people, right? Or our racism doesn't exist. Yeah, check yourself, Pauli. How the fuck you gonna get out of that? Go talk to Stephen Espinoza and what the fuck Stephen Espinoza leaving shit on Twitter. What's his name? Bernstein leaving shit on Twitter every other fucking day about Donald Trump and closing off a fucking border. Go tell them this shit doesn't fucking exist. Is it classism? They're in the Mexican class. The fuck out of here, man. How do you know what class somebody is anyway when they're walking fucking right by you, wearing the same shit you're wearing? How the fuck you even know? Fuck out of here, man. Go ahead, Callie. What's good, 78?
Everybody,
yeah, man. The sad thing about all of this, like I said, man, Pauli Malignaggi is speaking from someone who doesn't, because he doesn't see it in his life. And he knows that racism exists. Though. No, I mean, I'm going to say he knows it exists, but he doesn't have to deal with it. So in his mind, since it's not happening to me, then it's not real. I can just say that it's not real because it doesn't happen to me. So it may have happened at one point, but just it's gone because he sees rich black boxers. Is that what he's going to try to say? Because I would love for him to try to explain that shit to me. And I would annihilate him. I mean, in seconds.
You know what,
in
Callie?
Seconds. Go ahead.
Motherfuck all of that. I know exactly the area of Brooklyn that Pauli's from.
Bensonhurst.
Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, Howard Beach, all of that. All those Italians over there, all of them are born and raised to be racist. That little skit they did, not skit, but anyone who's seen The Bronx Tale with Al Pacino, although that story took place in the Bronx, that's how those Italians think. That's how they behave in Brooklyn. All right, everyone go Google when you get a chance. Yusef Hawkins. Yusef Hawkins. Okay? He got killed in that neighborhood for no other reason than him being black. And I'm beyond marching at this point. I'm beyond holding hands and saying we shall overcome and Dr. King. That was all good and well, but I'm more of a Malcolm X guy. My thing is like, you raise a hand at me, I'm gonna lay a hollow on you. Fuck that. I'm not trying to be cool with someone that wants to stab me in the face with a goddamn ice pick. I'm not trying to be your friend. Stay the fuck away from me. If you come 2 feet near me, I'm gonna kill you because I don't want to be around you. You don't want to be around me? I want to be around you. All right? Anyone, Pauli meant exactly what he said. It's just as ignorant when someone says, oh, the country of Africa, the country of Africa. Really, nigga? The country of Africa? This is how ignorant these motherfuckers are. Species, he meant what he said. He knows what he said. He's intelligent with everything else, but we're supposed to give him a pass and say that that was a fraudulent slip? No, it wasn't. He meant what he said. This is the Donald Trump era, people. It's cool to be politically incorrect. So since we've taken that position, then everyone say what the fuck they want, and that's what he did. He said what the fuck he wants. That's what Larry Birch
This era allows you to be racist. Being racist has been cool. It's cool again to be racist because they call it like, well, what do you want? You want a safe place? Do you want a safe place? What do you say? Are you a social justice warrior? You know what I mean? So they try like says, why? Because I said what I said. I should be able to say what I want to say. You stupid liberals. So they try to use that as a reason to be able to want to be able to say what they want to say. Heck, there's a lot of white folks. You can go on Twitter, anywhere else. They're mad that they can't say the N-word. I don't understand. Why do you want to say it?
Why do you want to say it? Why do you want to say it?
What's the purpose? Why do you want to say it so badly? Why do you have the need? And why do you have the need? And why do you feel like you need to be able to say that?
Shit, I'll tell you.
You say that at home all the time. But why do you feel like you need to even say it?
I'll tell you why. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you exactly why. Because it's the one thing that is dangling in their face that they can't have.
That's all.
Shit that we feel. It's the same shit that we feel about what many people consider to be their privilege. There's a bunch of shit they can do that we can't do. Like when I was in college, walk outside and catch a cab. I couldn't do it. In Washington, D.C., I could not do it. I could not walk out there, stick my thumb out and get a cab. Every cab driver would drive by me. So what you do is you go find a white woman and you say, hey, would you mind would you catch a cab for me? And white people will do this shit quick. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, hey, no worries. Cab, pull right up. Thank you. If they'll go in and I get in the cab, the cab driver will be like, yeah, motherfucker, you gotta, because you can't do that shit in front of them. So yeah, you take me where the fuck I want to go. Thank you. But when we say nigga in raps, nigga, they want to sing the song. But then they gotta stop. Because that has been taken away from them. They don't have the ability to say that word. And it's a frustration that comes from that. Well, how can you say it and I can't say it? Yeah, right. How come I can't get in the fucking cab and you can?
How come I can't fuck your wife?
That's fucking life. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, you could say it if you let me bang your wife in the butt on some disrespectful shit.
That's real.
Faggot ass motherfuckers, man. Get out of here, man. You want to say it so bad.
All this is, man, everything that's going on with Pauli Malignaggi. Pauli Malignaggi said that because he felt like it's safe. It's the proper environment. We can actually get away with saying something like that now. He's not even being challenged on that. That's the disgusting part. Now, Devin Haney said what he said, and there was a huge media fury about what he said because it's not about what they say. It's about what we say. We have to stay in line. So the black folks are expected to behave a certain way. White folks can do and say whatever they want to say, but we have to stay in line. We cannot, because the idea of us saying what we want to say is like we're challenging their authority, and they feel like they're supposed to have authority over us. So when Devin Haney said what he said, he's like, "Oh, how dare you get out of line?" Say do you know your role? Do you know your place? And that's what it is. And they made sure that they put Devin Haney back in his place. And this is what this is. It's all about control. It's all about control. He said, "You want to go ahead and read that for now?"
No, go ahead, man. I point to super chats and all that stuff just so people don't miss key terms. Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, but this is what it is. I mean, racism, man, exists even in places where people are like, oh my God, California just so liberal. Man, they racist as hell out here. White folks are racist in every part of the country or every part of the world. It doesn't matter. The most liberal, quote unquote, people who talking about they like your black ass. The moment you walk away, they talking about you, they trashing you, they trying to get you in trouble, they try to get you fired, they smile in your face and stab in your back. That's what happens out here in California, in the Bay Area. They smile in your face, they stab in your back. And you say, look, I mean, look at the white folks out in the Bay Area and went to Santa Monica Beach yesterday. They're allowed to go out there. You don't see the police out there just going crazy. Let some black folks do that. Black folks do the same thing. They going to jail. They may go get beat up. You see white folks going to the State House in Michigan with armed with weapons. We can't do that. In California, Ronald Reagan, quote unquote, Ronald Reagan, who's the hero of the Republican Party, when the Black Panther Party stormed the State House in Sacramento with guns, they changed the gun laws. They changed the gun laws because black folks went into the State House. Now, white folks can have on military fatigue. They can threaten to kill people. They can have fully loaded weapons, and everything's totally fine. Black folks, you ain't even got to have a weapon to get killed. White folks get to have whatever they want, and there's never going to be anyone challenging them. They get to go kill people, and they'll be arrested. Black folks kill someone, you getting shot, you getting murdered. You ain't got to kill anybody. They look forward to executing us. They look for a reason to give them a pass. This is the society that we live in. It's not fair. It's not right. But it's just the way it is. It's going to be up to us to challenge the system and try to make changes. But reality is, we got to take care of ourselves, man. Because at the end of the day, this system is designed to work the way it's supposed to work. It is definitely not designed for us. It's designed to work against us. And at the end of the day, the system was designed to make sure that we stay at the bottom. That's the way the system is designed. We have a caste system, and unfortunately, we're at the very bottom of the totem pole, and we're supposed to stay there. So that's why, if you want to check out other folks can say stuff, we're the main ones who can't say nothing. We are considered the threat. If anytime we say something that's considered to be out of norm, out of pocket, it's a funny thing though. Whenever they do investigations of athletes in sports, they dig deep into black folks. They check out your parents, they check out your cousins and stuff like that. When the white folks sitting there, they have racist tattoos and stuff like that kicker that got signed to draft whatever by the New England Patriots. Dude had on some white supremacist tattoo, and of course you got Jason Kuhnlock over there to defending them. We don't really know what that organization is about, per se. They're a right-wing group. Yeah, we do. We do. We got all kind of enough information about that group. That group is a racist, is an anti-black hate group. That's an anti-black hate group. And of course, Jason Kuhnlock, that's his job to get up there. And I can't stand black folks like that. But at the end of the day, like I said, when it comes to black athletes, they dig deep into your background. They give white kids a pass. White kids say racist shit like the 49ers defensive end. Whatchamacallit again? You know what I'm talking about. The one that they drafted last year, forgot his fucking name. He sat there and he was saying all kind of racist shit on Twitter. So he scrubbed his shit. He scrubbed his shit off Twitter right before he got Nick Bosa. He scrubbed all his racist shit off Twitter. He said, well, I was a kid. Isn't that a funny thing? They don't give us that kind of pass. Not at all. Michael Vick is still hated for fighting dogs. We're never forgiven, but they forgive. We're supposed to forgive them. And black folks, unfortunately, they hurry up and they forgive. They hurry up and they stand up for racist white folks. But black folks, we make any mistake and we suffer with it for the rest of our lives. Straight hate. Like I said, this system is designed to make sure that we know our role every day for the rest of your life until you die. And that's just the way it's gonna be. And that's the way they want to make sure that they keep it. Because the whole thought of us coming up and having any kind of power, it scares the shit out of them. They do not want us to have any type of economic power or power whatsoever, to not have to, ask them or depend on them or at any time and moment. Because the funny thing is, this is what is designed. You guys know that the NFL and in the NBA, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So one thing I like to stay away from, I mean, is like I don't know why people are doing what they're doing. Like I don't know that it's the case that people don't want us to be successful or want us to do these things. I don't know if that's the case that they don't want to do it. What I know is that there are very concrete fucking obstacles in the way of doing it, and that it hasn't happened. You know what I mean? I just
Right.
think if you get into saying what people think, you know, what they want and what they think, you can never prove that. And that's where people where you get into wind up getting into arguments with people, and it's very difficult to win it because we talk about what they think and what they have in their mind, and we don't know it. For example, I don't know that for sure. I don't know for sure that any particular person is a racist unless they actually tell me that they are, or if I witness them doing something, right? So the most you can do is really just feel like you can suspect them of it, and you can have it's reasonable to suspect that that could be the case, but you don't know, and you can't really get in to what their intentions are in their mind, just like they can't get into our minds and know what our intentions are. So for that particular thing, I just like, you know, that's something to be real careful with. But in the case of somebody that says that literally refers to somebody as a species, as another species, that shit is wrapped up right there. From if you really do have a situation where you're in New York City and you see somebody like Eric Gardner getting choked out right there on fucking TV, that shit is right in your fucking face. So the fact that before the previous New Deal in the 1940s specifically excluded black people, and because we were explicitly excluded from the last massive economic rebuilding program in the U.S., that you know there's ramifications that echo to today. That's a fact. And some of the things that these dudes do is they act like if something happens today, so say something happened 6 months ago, that's history. So what? That was 6 months ago. So what? That was 30 years ago. So what? That was 40 years ago. Guess what? The revolution, United States Revolution, was over 200 years ago. We're still fucking here. You still are affected by things that happened in the past. Well, so Pauli's sitting there saying, well, I don't see anything going on today. I don't see none of y'all Negroes hanging from trees this afternoon. Fuck does that mean, dude? You know what's happening. You're from Bensonhurst.
Yeah,
You know
we've had hangings happen recently. Be honest with you.
I'm just saying though, you don't have to even. I just want to point to what I actually see and people have actually admitted to and what people have actually said. I just think that it is really, really dangerous and not dangerous for what you believe. So like walking forward with that understanding, you're like, there's a chance this dude did this shit because of this. This dude did that shit because of that. It's reasonable to suspect it, and you would be stupid not to suspect it because there's so much history with it. The only thing that I would say be careful is calling and saying that's the case, because you really you can never get inside the head of what somebody else thinks, and that is always their defense to themselves. He doesn't know what I think. They don't know what I think. Right? They can't prove that I'm a racist. How can you prove that? I've never done anything. I've never said anything. And they would be correct. But once they've done something, boom, you know it. But in the argument, I just say I suspect that a lot of this shit is exactly what the shit probably is. I won't know until I actually see that. But Pauli Malignaggi crossed that line.
No, I'm just saying, if you go to check out the history of sport and the way that they delve in, and there's information, there's enough information out there to back this up, that they tend to delve in the lives of black athletes a lot more than they do a lot of the Caucasian, or should say, well, let's go to country, but white athletes. And so what I'm saying is that they apply more pressure on black athletes to actually be perfect, whether it's a lot of these kids with these questionable backgrounds that are white, they get away with things a lot more than black athletes.
So the only thing that I'm saying is,
yeah.
I have no doubt to believe that that's the case. But then what they'll retort with is this: they'll say, "Okay, yeah, that's because they come from a neighborhood where there's a lot of killings and there's a lot of crime, and there's there could be more things in your background that could cause us public relation issues. So we're going to look at that. We're going to make sure we look at all of those possibilities. See, that could be something most likely they would say if you presented numbers in that regard, and said, look, but you don't know necessarily what the cause of that is. You would be safe to assume that, but I would just say, hey man, there's a likelihood that that's the case. I just don't. It's just very difficult to prove. It's difficult to prove that.
No, I guess I get what you're saying again. And you also, this is part of your lawyer in you too, which is not, it's not what you have as the more of an objective way of looking at it. But I just kind of come at it. I know. I understand how you're looking at it. I just look at it from a historical standpoint. But you're right.
I repeat these motherfuckers in an argument.
Yeah, because
the shit is fucking for real. This is bullshit is popping off. And when you say species, like versus he's saying that Europeans, there's more Europeans are dominant, that's purely subjective. That fucking shit he said about a fucking species is objectively fucked up. And that's super fucking fucked up.
Pauli,
I really do feel like when I heard him say that, I was like, did this motherfucker just fucking call me an ape? I mean, yeah. What is that? Because that's the connection it draws us. What do you? That's that is the basis of That's the basis of this division of races. Is what he said. Go ahead, Callie. I'm sorry, man.
No, but yeah, that's exactly where he's coming from, man. He's always said that he wanted to fight in the UK. I remember when I went to the first Wilder fight, and he was hanging around all these British white dudes and shit like that, man. And I don't know myself. I think Pauli envies. I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like he envies the fact that they're lighter or something. Because he's dark. Funny thing is though, some of these Italians are racist, and they're darker than a lot of black folks, man.
I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna tell you something else. He's American. He'll never be accepted by real Italians. So his love affair with wanting to be over there, it's like.
But he didn't say Italy. He said he wanted to be in the UK.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. He don't want to be here. He feels his roots are over there, not on this soil. He feels his roots are over there. It's sort of like how a Puerto Rican will look down on a Mexican, and a Puerto Rican will look down on a Dominican, and they don't know that a Spaniard, someone from Spain, looks down on all of them. Because I've spoken to a person from Spain, and it was the ugliest conversation I ever had. What he referred to everything that speaks Spanish that are not on Spanish soil, that are not born and raised in Spain, are the bastard sons and daughters of what they put out. They spread their seed, and everything got mixed up, and that's why you got dark Spaniards. And I'm like, yo, this motherfucker's telling me this shit to my face. But that's how
I do told me the same thing from Spain. He said that all the other Spanish speakers are trash.
Yeah, he called them piss to me. He's like, oh, they're all pissed. They're all pissed. I'm like, well, goddamn, my man, what's wrong with you? I wonder what the fuck you say about me when I turn my back. It's crazy. So for Pauli to say that racism don't exist, there's a video of these three guys. It was a cameraman, and you know how these crackers like to walk around with these assault rifles and shit just to exercise their Second Amendment rights, right? Because they only started doing that when Obama got in office. But they legally could walk around with these assault weapons, right? I call them assault weapons. They did a video. The white guy had the same exact weapon as the black guy, and I don't know what state it was in. So the white guy goes for a walk. People walking past him, nothing happened, right? The black guy got like 3 blocks. Someone called the police. They had choppers in the air. That was Oregon, right? Okay. They had choppers in the air. Police came, get on the ground. He complied because they'd have lit his ass up. But he was within the same right, the amendment right, as his white friend that was like 5 blocks in the other direction. Come on now. You gonna tell me that racism don't exist? Get all the way the fuck out of here. Everyone Google Yusuf Hawkins, Google the Howard Beach incident. All right. That's where fucking Pauli's from. Over there, Howard Beach, Bensonhurst. Till this day, you still can't walk around there at certain hours of the night. If you're my complexion, you can't do it. You can't do it. At worst, I mean, at least you'll be called a nigger. Someone will drive by in their little low-riding Honda Civic. Oh, get out of here, you fucking nigga! Boom, with their loud-ass mufflers. Till this day, right now. Paulie, shut the fuck up, man. You know what you said. Species? Do you know black children was used as alligator bait? Black babies was used as alligator bait. Find me one Italian that was treated like that. Find me one Irish person that was treated like that on this soil. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. You don't know what it's like to be black. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tired of people that are not black telling me that I'm overreacting for pointing out obvious racism. And to the
black
niggas,
people's skin was turning to lampshades. I'm being
that's real. No, that's real. And to the niggas over there in the UK, and I'm not talking about all of them, the uneducated ones that think that I'm exaggerating, fuck you too. Come over here for 5 days. I will stick your ass in Bensonhurst so you tell me how you make out. Because over here, you just a funny sounding nigga. They're going to call you Jamaican. Or you one of those Jarmaicans. You one of those Jarmaicans. No, I'm from the UK. Yeah, bullet, bat in the back of the head. No, you's a nigga. Wake up, man. This is bullshit.
I was talking on that note, Drew. Mm-hmm. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a doctor about the coronavirus and was and how the deaths of blacks was like, you know, say like they're 30% of the we're 30% of the population, but 70% of the deaths. So of the people, no, 30% of the people that have tested positive and 70% of the deaths. So he was talking about what the reasons for that was. But in the conversation, one of the points he brought up was just the stress of being black. And he said that and it's something about being black in America, not being black, period. But they use this example, which is when people talk about like from other countries, like a black dude from Great Britain talking, they say once somebody comes over, like the parents that come over don't have the same stresses, but their kids of the immigrants that come in, the next generation enter the statistics just like black Americans. You have from the time you bring your ass to the United States, sir, your children will be saying the same shit to you that we are. Guaranteed. If you're African, you out there in the UK, and you think we're bullshitting, come to the United States, and then your kids will be telling you the exact same shit. Because they will have the exact same percentage of early deaths. They would have the exact same percentage of diabetes and mental illness and all of the other shit that affects black people's health. You are one generation away from it. So there is something specific about being here. And the idea that I believe that you believe that a group that isn't, what do you expect from what black people are? We came to the United States, locked in people's fucking backyards for 200 years. Then when we stepped out, still owned by them, getting lynched, getting hung by police, not being able to rent places, had all kind of crazy shit up until what, 1965, which was 55 years ago. My older brother, most of my family been alive at that time, but then miraculously they passed a congressional, they wrote a piece of paper. They wrote down a big piece of paper in Washington, D.C., and a bunch of people signed it, and then you think all that shit was going to go away? You realize that the police, literally the police in the United States come from slave patrols. Yep. That is the first organization of government of a police force in the United States was slave patrols. Which is why the person asked me if I knew about Dred Scott. Yeah, the Dred Scott case was a slave that escaped slavery, went to Missouri, which is a free state, and then said that he and his wife should be free because they're no longer, in the territory where they were enslaved. And the Supreme Court said, "Fuck no, you're not a citizen of the United States, so consequently you cannot bring that issue to a federal court." You are subject to the state. So up until that point in time, we weren't even citizens, not even citizens of the United States. For a ranking of representation in Congress, we were 1/3. And you don't think that shit's gonna cause some fucking stress? It's just all our, and the fact that now all that shit just magically disappeared. That's what Pauli's saying. Pauli's saying shit just magically disappeared.
Oh, it dissipated with Obama. You know, that's what they say.
Finish, Callie, and I promise I'll get off quick. You literally have a television show right now on HBO called The Atlantic Child Murders, where you have like 50, you have 50, I don't remember the number, 50 deaths of kids, black kids that disappeared in a county that where the police force is stuffed with the Klan, and there's Klan all over the fucking place right after a black mayor gets elected. But they find some little nerdy dude that might have been connected to one and put all 50 murders on his head. As if the Klan ain't got shit to do with the deaths of that many little black boys right after a mayor is elected. That shit happened in the early 1980s. The fuck are you talking about, dude? Pauli, shut the fuck up, dude. You're deeply insulting. That is deeply, deeply, deeply insulting. And Steven Espinoza and you guys that let these people get away with that shit, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Because if his ass has said that there's no such thing as, oh yeah, so that means there's no problems with Jews either. Let his ass say there is no anti-Semitism. Say that, Pauli. I dare you. Dare you. Say that. I dare you. I dare you.
He knows what comes with that. He won't. He knows what comes with that.
Dare you, Pauli. Pauli will not work another fucking day if he said that shit.
His life will be over.
And it's racism. He says Pauli Malignaggi doesn't believe that there's any anti-Semitism. Pauli, that's what you just said. Since we trying to find a way to get your ass fucking fired. He just said there's no anti-Semitism. We should do videos of that. Pauli says there's no anti-Semitism in the world.
Look how many hits we'll get.
Look how quick that motherfucker will lose his job. Who the fuck you think you are? Debate that, Pauli. Go ahead, Calvin. My bad.
Oh no, like I said, it's hell. We know that for a fact that there's plenty of white supremacists, Klan members, and all that within law enforcement. Whether it's the police department, whether it's just the criminal justice system, we know that some of the judges have ties to white supremacist organizations or just flat out members. We've had Congress people who are some of Congress members have ties to the Ku Klux Klan and other organizations like that. So for him to try to state that it's not, hell, we knew that Jeff Sessions used to belong to a white supremacist. Well, he was. In my opinion, he probably still a member of that organization. There used to be a congressman out of, I think it was South Carolina. I think his name was Joe Wilson. He had ties. It was called Sons of something. It was a white supremacist organization. So for him to try to state that Joe Wilson was in office 5-6 years ago, something like that. I'm like, this stuff is recent. So we know for a fact. We also know that the Department of Homeland Security released a document. They released documents stating that the law enforcement had been infiltrated by white supremacist organizations, terrorist organizations like the Ku Klux Klan and other militia groups have penetrated it. They also know that the military has been infiltrated by white supremacist organizations. So for him to try to say that it doesn't exist, it's bullshit, and it's all there. So man, we know for a fact that they're still going around. There was a brother that I think it was a brother that got hung this year. We know for a fact that this stuff is still happening, that these groups are still around, and that they would like to go into action. And if I don't know if you guys read, but hell, these people are planning to go to war with the United States. They're planning to go to war. They don't like the infiltration of what they consider to be infiltration of minorities in this country. They want us to leave. They think that this is their country, even though they're from Europe. But they believe that these people believe that the United States should be white, and that all the dark complected people need to be gone, and anybody who's not white should be out of here. And if you don't, I believe these people when they've stated in the past, when you go on message boards stating that they're planning for war. Look at all the weapons that they have. Look at all the ammunition that they have. They're definitely ready for war. They're definitely to go to war and to try to take everybody out. I believe all of that shit. When they said, I believe it. When they posted, I believe it. Unfortunately, the funny thing is, these people are also, like I said, these people are also police officers. So, they have power. They have power. I think it was the Baltimore Police Department that had that some of the Baltimore police had been proven to have white supremacists within the police department. I mean, it doesn't matter. I guarantee you, if you go around the country, it doesn't matter what city, what state you're in, you're gonna find them in some police department in a city where you think that they shouldn't exist. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, man.
Well, let me add to this. How many further proof that racism exists in this country? How many black people you say that the Ku Klux Klan has killed over the years, all the way up until today? Millions? Yeah. How many white people? How many white people has the Black Panther Party killed?
None. Maybe a policeman, somebody was accused of something like that.
Meanwhile, what they did take from the Black Panther Party was the WIC program, which is exercised throughout this country. So
school lunch program too.
Yeah, exactly. School lunch program. So we added to when I say we, I'm talking about a black organization, added something good to this country and was still wiped out, infiltrated from the inside and still wiped out. The Klan still exists. Based off of our core principles, a group like the Klan shouldn't even be around. It should have been obliterated years ago. Actually, maybe around 1965. They should have been infiltrated and gutted and labeled a terrorist organization. And if
they are labeled as a terrorist organization, but
they're still here. They're still here. You know what I'm saying? You even got motherfuckers like Freddie Roach's brother laying on the hospital bed with their tattoo on his chest. And it is made to be a sob story. You remember that? Come on, man. I saw that shit on his chest and said, wait a minute. What? I'm supposed to feel sorry for this guy? You know what I'm saying? Freddie Roach, Brandon Rios in his camp. Yo, get out of here, you fucking Mexican. Just rolled off his tongue. You serious? No one held him accountable. But they were about to kick his shaking ass. He's causing earthquakes with the amount of shaking he's doing. Motherfucker. Don't tell me that racism don't exist, Pauli. You fucking guinea. How about that?
No.
And did you know that Ronald Reagan launched his presidential campaign in Philadelphia, Mississippi? If you guys know the history of the Philadelphia, Mississippi, it's when the two Jews and the black dude came from New York that tried to, there was civil rights activists, and of course they ended up in I think it was the lake, was it the river, right? The bodies ended up in the river.
I through there on my way from college, my home to college. This is right down 55. You go, through Mississippi. You just drive through it. You literally gas up right in Tennessee, gas up in Tennessee, and drive your ass straight through to Louisiana, and do not stop. Maybe in Jackson. Say if you're gonna stop for gas in Jackson, and then book on through the state, dude. That ain't no place to stay overnight. That's how I was told the first time I drove through there. Son, only place you stop in Mississippi is Jackson. After that, you get through there and then get to Louisiana, and you're probably good in Louisiana. But how crazy is that when Mississippi is more dangerous than Louisiana? Because Louisiana got some of them folk too.
Mm-hmm. And did you see that story about Willie D did a story where there was a black man who was running. I forgot what state it was in, but two white dudes said, well, they thought he was a burglar.
Oh,
so they shot him and killed him.
Virginia? This is my question to y'all, man. Here's my thing, though. All right, because I'm with you. I really am. I'm with you on the facts, like the things that evidence it. But to me, it's like when people say that the police were infiltrated by these, those groups. I'm like, nah, man, they're not infiltrated by them. They started them. You don't infiltrate some shit you start. That shit is, like I said, that shit came from the slave patrols. That's what they were there to do. They are there to police us. They are put in the neighborhood. They're not put in the neighborhoods. They were never put in our neighborhoods or around us at any point in time primarily to protect us. No, we're the people who they are protecting. They are protecting other people. They are serving our asses.
He said they beat the shit out of you every day. He said, "This what is it?
Not what it
Your
is.
black folks at batting practice is basically what you're saying."
What I'm saying is, dude, that's what it is. We have never, throughout this whole thing, we have been highly, highly detained. That's what slavery is. You lock you up in chains and have you go to work for their purpose. You cannot ride down the streets. You cannot go see your friends. It is like ultimate quarantine. That's what it is. So you have foremen that oversee you. The whole structure is policing you. That's heavily policed. We got here heavily policed. And what I'm saying is that all those institutions that were there to police us, they're the same institutions that are policing us as well, the government ones, the government aspect of it. And that's the significance of what he talked about with Dred Scott. Now, Wale said, I thought the case meant that we couldn't be citizens. Exactly. That's exactly what the case meant. Because remember, this is a Supreme Court case. So that's the federal government, right? There's only two ways that a federal court will hear what you have to say. It's if it relates to something that the Constitution specifically gives it, specifically gives it is specifically named in the Constitution for the federal government, because everything else belongs to the state, or it involves interstate traffic, something that's happening between two states. So it either has to be specifically granted to it in the Constitution, or it has to happen between two states for the federal government to even listen, for the Supreme Court to even listen to it. So in that case, they're like, nah, the fuck out of here, because you're not a citizen. You don't involve interstate traffic and you're not a citizen. So since you're not a citizen, I don't got to hear this case, and you're still a slave in Missouri. So they ruled and didn't rule at the same time.
And Fanon, what do you think about this? Michigan police officer is terminated after KKK application was found in his home. This was last year. Last year.
That's expected.
Last year, but hey, Pauli Malignaggi, no racism exists though.
But I'm telling you, that's just that's what the police department started off as, and that's why there's never been a good relationship. And it's always been citizens being deputized, to oversee people and where you move and what you do. And we've always lived in a surveillance state. So all the things that are happening as far as being surveilled, I mean, you should fucking know you're being surveilled. We've been surveilled our entire lives.
Real quick.
Black America has been being heavily surveilled. And
real quick.
Breaking into people's groups and doing stuff like that.
You want to ask you that doctor story. Is that a conversation you just had, or is that written information? Because I'm going to need that.
I mean, that's a conversation. He can give you written information, or I can get him on the show at some point in time, and I get a quote from him.
Because I love to make reference to that.
His thing is he's looking at the evidence, and his thing was this about the virus. His thing was that he said that, look, that's the problem, and he said that he thinks it's a series of a bunch of things. Us being in good health is one, and the fact that you not having access to health care is something else, right? So that's another problem. But then he said that there's something else that people just can't put their finger on, and it's the correlation to the fact that this is happening to black people that come into the country, once they get here, they fall into the same pattern that we do. So
Right.
the fact that it's not happening somewhere that they came from, but yet it's happening to them here, says there's something about being you here that is causing this extra stress. And it's this shit, dude. We're raised in stress. It's fucking stressful. You know what I mean? Even if you think that nobody's doing anything, it's not reasonable to think that people won't think somebody is, because people have done so much fucked up shit. It's very hard to trust. It's like they want you to expect you to trust. Like, why? Why would you trust that somebody's not fucking out to get you? The motherfucker's been out to get you. From what I have heard during slavery, that counts as out to get you. You know, Jim Crow, that counts as out to get you. So with all that history, why would you just trust? I mean, I think you just get into that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd really like to know more about that. That's very interesting. I was going to actually make reference to that. That's all a part of my conversation on my show.
His shit's a different level, because I mean, you know, Leaford know him. That's you know who that is, Leaford. You know, dude is the first one is a really bright guy, but his thing was like, look, because people were saying, is it the 5G technology? Is it this? Is it that? And he's like, it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Whether or not it was planted, not planted, okay, it could have been, but my thing is how you're going to fix it. It's because it's here now, and you got to learn how to deal with it. And it's bananas but you knew they were not going to keep the whole country shut down to protect people from dying when we're the majority of the people dying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like,
but let me say this, hey, you guys, we got 296 people in there. Smash the goddamn like button. I mean, come on. It's not sophisticated. Just go out. So, I mean, you ain't got to leave. All you got to do is just go out. You don't have to leave the channel. Just hit the fucking like button. I mean, come on. It's really not difficult. It's free. It's not like we're charging you for it. It's free. Smash the fucking like button. Smash the goddamn like button. God damn.
I need like them likes. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Strengthen our immune systems as well. And, you know, dude, it's just fucking what it is, man. You know? But he was like poor nutrition, because even if you're eating, you're not eating, like McDonald's is just grease and meat. You know, so multivitamins, the things that Drew Titan will help you out there with, right there, sir. Right, sir?
Yeah, I'll be talking about that tonight. That's why, the information. I remember you referred to it a few other times, with reference to what that doctor said, and it didn't even dawn on me. And then I said, "Oh shit, that makes all the sense in the world. We're already born into a form of extreme stress as African Americans, and based off of our income, our income determines where we live and how we live and what we consume. Now, I always tell people this, when I was coming up, McDonald's and shit, that was a treat. You got like once every other month. That was a treat. You know what I'm saying? We grew up on home cooked meals. Now you see these kids, with a $1 menu. It's all affordable now. And that's why you got these kids walking around looking like the 40-year-old George Foreman, and all these women these young girls that are like in 9th grade, they walk around looking like the old Monique. They look like they gave birth to 1,000 kids, and they're like 13 years old, and their gunt is hanging over their goddamn kneecaps, and it's ridiculous looking. It's like, what's going on? They got blotches on their face, McDonald's everywhere, Chipotle everywhere, White Castles, all this other shit, and it's accessible. And then you turn around, you see you young, and you don't feel it, but then you turn around, you get corona, and you dying at 31 years old. But you like 70 pounds overweight, you got clogged arteries, you ain't been to the doctor for a physical because you're young and you don't feel it. You understand what I'm saying? So this is all relevant. What the doctor's saying, what the doctor told you, Fanon, is relevant. What we consume is relevant. And I am noticing, for those of the people that I have heard that had corona, that have lived without going to the hospital, they were in pretty good health. Like, they exercised, they had a routine and things of that nature. And they took a multivitamin or something. You understand? So when you get corona, it's not an absolute death sentence. It's just that it makes sense that in my city, along with just people being purely irresponsible, like the Hasidic Jew community, and just to digress on that for a second, they had these funerals out there where it's a goddamn parade, and they all jumping on Mayor Bloomberg's neck, calling him anti-Semite, and it's like, you know, every time you tell these motherfuckers you can't do something, they call you racist. No, motherfucker, this is for your own safety. And they out there, like 3 of them had on masks, everyone else didn't. You're locking people up the best way you can. If I'm the chief of the department, I'd say, yo, look, just send 2 police vans out there, flashing lights, let them do what the fuck they want to do. Because they're gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. But I'll tell you what did happen after that funeral. In that community, the number of COVID cases spiked 100%, 100 people caught it. Men, women, children. So my thing is this: I'm not going to waste PD manpower and risk my guys getting sick just because these motherfuckers want to have their funeral. Y'all go ahead and do it. Y'all do what y'all want anyway. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that, because what they're doing is they're burying dead bodies on Hart Island because they ain't got enough room for funerals. I've been to 4 funerals via Zoom in the last 2 weeks because we can't go to the fucking funeral home because of this shit. So y'all go ahead and do what the fuck y'all want to do. Y'all go ahead and do what the fuck y'all want to do. But diet is essential. If you eat McDonald's 8 times a day and then you get COVID and then you're in the hospital screaming, yo, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. You listen, some of that shit is your own doing. Listen, staying healthy is so goddamn important. The healthier your body is, more than likely you're going to have a fighting chance with anything. With anything. My boy is a power lifter. He had a car accident, and the only reason why his neck ain't break when how he landed was because they said his neck was so muscular. You understand what I'm saying? So being healthy helps, man. And as African Americans, as Black Americans in this country, man, it is imperative that we got to put shit down. But they're on bad foods. But the way society's designed, based on your income, you have to live in certain areas. We have nothing but bodegas and McDonald's and all this fast food. You can't shop at top-notch supermarkets where you can get proper produce. You get the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that you need. You got to shop at Poppy's Bodega, where all he has is plantains and fucking Doritos and fucking pigskins. So you're buying shit because it's cheap. You're buying 20-pound bags of rice. You're eating it in abundance. You're not going hungry. But 20 years of eating bowls of rice, what do you think that's going to do to you? You're going to get diabetes. Pasta is what, 50 cents a box? You're not going to go hungry. But 20 years of eating that shit, what do you think it's going to do to you? And then something like the coronavirus comes along, your body does not have a fighting chance. They're telling you people with extreme diseases are dying from this thing. If you have high blood pressure, I still have hypertension. I take a pill every day. I was pre-diabetic. I lost weight. That shit went away. This is why I do my show. We have to wake up, man. We have to fix this shit, man. But it's hard, and it's easier said than done, because you're talking to someone that lives in the projects, and their income is only what, $35,000 a year. They can't afford to eat like with the guy up the highway over here. I'm about 2 exits from Connecticut. All right. The only fast food they have up there in Greenwich, Connecticut, the only fast food chain I've seen up there was Subway's, and they eating fresh. That's the only one. Everything else is supermarkets and white-owned fruit and vegetable stores. White-owned. Okay? So that's what they're doing up there. So when Corona hits them, they're more than likely to survive. More than likely. I'm not saying that they're going to survive 100%, because this thing is taking everybody out. But I'm saying, the healthier you are, the less clogged your arteries are. All this drinking and smoking and shit, you're destroying your liver, your kidneys, your lungs. This thing attacks your lungs. All of this shit is diet related. Put down the motherfucking hamburgers, man. Put down that $1 chicken sandwich. Stop going to Popeyes, man. Every time I come off the highway, there's a Popeyes not too far from where I live. That line is around the corner. First of all, I don't want anyone breathing over my goddamn food. How the fuck are you buying fast food with this corona shit going around? Explain to me where does this make sense? The line be down the block around the corner. I'm like, what are these people doing? What the fuck are they doing? What is really going on, man? Yo, people, we got to get on point with this shit, man. Black people, we're already stressed where we live, dealing with police, dealing with our jobs. That's stress. That's all stress. We don't help by eating fucked up. And I know it's bad, man. I know it's bad. You only got $5 in your pocket. You want to get the chopped cheese from the bodega and the bag of Doritos and 8 packs of Kool-Aid. Dude, take that $5, go to Western Beef, get some lettuce, get some fucking tomatoes and a stalk of fucking celery and a can of tuna or something, or chicken breast. Do something. Chop it up, put it in a bag, and ration it out for 3 days, man. Your body will thank you later for it. Consume a lot of water. Fuck y'all doing with this dollar menu shit? I'm seeing these kids, man. You see your kids growing up all fat and greasy? How the fuck you 16 years old and you got a receding hairline? That's not normal. That's not normal. I don't care what anyone says. I know a lot of friends that went bald. They at least waited till they're like in their 20s. You 14 years old, your hairline on the back of your fucking head. You got blotches on your face. Your stomach hanging over your goddamn belt line. Look like you ain't taken shit in 4 years. Come on, yo, people, we got to do better. There's ways to combat this corona. Small things like changing your goddamn diet, man. We already stressed, man. Wake up, people.
All right, let me get these super chats real quick, man. I'm sorry, I went a minute, but that was great. I like that, man. Appreciate that. Arun Roy saying, I shared that doctor story a few times since the last time you mentioned it, Fanon. Good information to know. It's very true. Yeah, man. It's crazy, ain't it? Mahari Nation said, you notice how the media is ignoring the poor treatment Africans are dealing with in China. If that's not racism, I don't know what is. Come on, Pauli. Yeah, Pauli bugging me. Eric Jenkins, much love in that super chat. Thank you, sir. Drew said it in his last videos. Stop eating no good foods. And Justin Marsh says salute. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, man. It's tough out there, man. So I don't get your boy Pauli, man.
Well, I want to address something that a brother in the chat asked me something. What's his name? I don't want to butcher your name, brother. I joined Roy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. He said, what's the Puerto Rican or Cuban community out in the Bronx? If you've personally spoken to any of them, why do they not like to associate themselves with black people in the U.S.? Well, basically, unfortunately, listen, the Spanish-speaking culture, and I'm not, Hispanic, Latin, whatever you want to call yourselves, it's a very funny ass and weird culture I've come to know. Dominicans are not liked. The Mexicans are looked down on over here. The majority over here, from what I've seen, I live in the Bronx, are Puerto Ricans. I grew up around, I got a bunch of friends that are Puerto Rican, and when they get on their shit, because I got Puerto Rican friends, Dominican friends, and when they get on their shit going back and forth, I stay out of it. I just listen. I'm like, wow, I didn't know. Because don't y'all motherfuckers know that to a white person, y'all in the same boat? And my Dominican friend is darker than me. And then I got a Panamanian friend that looks African. And he's from Panama. And he speaks Spanish. So they all going at one another. And I'm the only motherfucker sitting there speaking proper English. And me and the Puerto Rican don't need a green card to be here. You understand what I'm saying? But they got some shit going on with them. And it's just like, their dysfunction is just like black people's dysfunction with skin tone. And it spills over to us. Because I tell them all the time, y'all motherfuckers are arguing. Don't you know if slavery starts tomorrow, we all in the same fucking line? You ain't going to be able to go to somebody and say, oh, no, I'm Cuban. No, you're black. Get your ass over there. You just one of the Indian. No, I'm not black. Yeah, you a sand nigga. You a sand nigga. Get in the line with the rest of them. So it's a form of dysfunction. I don't know why they distance themselves from black people when a lot of them are black themselves. If Guillermo Rigondeaux stood in front of somebody and didn't say a word, they'd be like, "Oh, that's a black guy. And he don't speak any English. He's Cuban." Same thing with Luis Ortiz, Udonis Ugas. Same shit. You understand? So it's an inbred self-hatred dysfunction that's always happened. And I've known Puerto Ricans that are blonde hair and blue eyed that say they don't like black people, but meanwhile they were the biggest Felix Trinidad fan. Felix Trinidad grows hair out. His hair is like mine. It's snappy. He's one of those black Negroes from Bejo Moon in Puerto Rico. There's a whole history with that shit down there. You understand? So there's a lot of self-hatred in here, and especially you see it in the city. This city, Washington Heights up here in New York. That's all Dominican. That's all Dominican. I remember being at Roberto Clemente State Park. There was a boxing club down there. I tell that story often, but there was also a big old pool there. And in the summertime, everybody go down there to go jump in the pool. Blacks and Spanish people, or blacks and Puerto Ricans, right? And Washington Heights had a flux of Dominicans when they started moving from Dominican Republic over up to Washington Heights, and it's not far. It's just like a bus ride down there. And when they came to town, they started fighting with the Puerto Ricans, like fist fights. And we're like, what the fuck are they fighting? Oh, it's a race war. Race war? They look alike to me. No, they're Dominican. What? What are you talking about? But again, like I said earlier, you talk to a Spaniard, they hate all of them. So why the fuck you run around hating each other? So it's a form of inbred dysfunction. Colorism. It's fucked up. I'm not gonna I don't like Fanon because he's a shade lighter than me. I don't like Black Fight Fan because he's mad darker than me. What does all of this mean? What does all this mean? Where is it coming from? It's self-hatred. It's self-hatred. That's all it is. It's all it is, man. So New York is a funny ass place. I see it. I saw two guys having a fist fight. This was way back when I was on the job. They're having a fist fight, and I'm like, why the fuck are they fighting? And it was an Argentinian versus a Venezuelan, and they were fighting over soccer in the street. I'm like, I ain't getting involved in that shit. I got my sector call and I fucking left. Fuck all that, man. We're fucked up over here. We're fucked up. This is inbred. But you know what? You see two fighters in the ring, and you see a dark-skinned fighter versus a light-skinned fighter. Well, actually, a white fighter. I'm sure you ask the Italian and the Irish person who they're rooting for, and they won't even know either fighter. I swear to God, they'll say the white fighter, and that could be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy from the United Kingdom. And that's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. So not to sound long-winded, I don't know what the fuck the problem is with that over here. I don't know why they don't accept them over here in New York, but everybody got a problem. Out here in the Bronx, you won't know anyone's ethnicity until they fucking speak. You could dead ass think that a person you're talking to is African, and then they'll start speaking Spanish on your ass. My man Delano is off the boat from Panama, but if he's standing in front of you, you'll think he's fucking African. He's from Panama. He's from Panama. That's how freaky this shit is. So, the Cubans, they're also a weird group. I've been around them. I can go on and on for that. Older Cubans in general, just weird, man. Just weird. And I don't understand it. What I'm saying is I don't understand it. I don't understand it. There's a lot of hatred with these Spanish-speaking cultures. There's a lot of hatred within them. Venezuelans have something to say about Argentinians, and everybody has something to say about Puerto Ricans. Nobody likes Dominicans, and everybody hates Mexicans. I don't get it. And I don't even understand where the Brazilians fit in at, but whatever, man.
In New York?
What's that?
Are there a lot of Mexicans in New York?
Yeah, they making deliveries, and I'm not even being funny, but they out here, man. They out here, and
they feel like a Mexican neighborhoods.
Kind of. So they like mix. They mix in. They mix in. Because now, the ones that have gotten citizenship, or they don't have citizenship, and they just stay off the radar. They're in Spanish speaking neighborhoods. You understand? And I can't tell whether they're like Puerto Rican. Is where it used to be a Puerto Rican neighborhood majority. Now the Mexicans are in there. They then slipped in under the radar and shit. So it's like mingled in, but it's nothing like California. And
Nah,
that's
yeah.
another
So
thing.
out here,
You
it's
know,
like
yeah,
I have a coworker who's from New Jersey. He's Mexican. He said, "Wow." He said the first time he was able to date a Mexican girl when he got out here. He said he thought there was a lot of Mexicans in out there in New Jersey, New York. But he said no. He said, "Man, this is crazy." Yeah, because
nah,
our state, we are Mexican. Our state is Mexican. So it's a whole nother planet.
yo,
It's a
listen,
whole new world over here, man.
I tell these
It don't
cats
matter.
all the time.
Yeah, Northern, Central, Southern California, Mexican everywhere. This is their state. I'm gonna tell you the
Listen,
fuck is that? California. California is Spanish, so it
I,
used to be
I
part of Mexico.
I tell people all the time, man. I say, yo, look, man, you see these Mexican guys out here. None of them are, all of them are about 5'5", and they're running around and they're working hard, man. They're delivering food and everything else. You see them on their motorbikes and they're working hard. But I tell these cats, don't get it fucked up, man. The Mexicans out here are not the same Mexicans out in California. Them niggas out there looking like Chris Ariola out there. Don't
Yeah,
think that
we
all
got
these
some Mexicans
Mexicans
like
over here.
6'2", 6'3" out here, man.
Exactly, man. The only Mexicans we see out here are the little motherfuckers. The small 5'5" Marco Antonio Barrera looking motherfuckers out here. Delivering pizza and shit. But I told them, don't get it fucked up, man. Out here, over on the West Coast, it's different. It's totally different. We got the small bags of chips out here. Y'all got the fucking economy size Doritos out there. Fuck that, man. And I'm not saying that to be racist. I'm saying that as a joke. It's a fucking joke. It's a motherfucking joke.
It's different, bro. It's just culturally they're different. I mean, the Mexicans on the West Coast are culturally different than Mexicans that would come from like Texas and even like New York and stuff. It's just different, man. It's a different world out here. Funny thing though, culturally, Northern California and Southern California Mexicans are different too. So it's a different part of the state, man. Same thing in Central California. So it's completely different, man. When they come out here, a lot of folks come out here, their eyes get opened up when they see. Like we got black folks out. We got 2 million black folks in the state of California, but we are we are a big time minority. 40 million people, only 2 million people out of 40 million, bro. We ain't shit. There ain't that many of us out here. We live in the major metropolitan areas. Every now and then you can go out to the outskirts and you'll see somebody black. You'll be like, whoa, you live out here? You'd be shocked to see one out there if you go see a black dude in Eureka or something. But as far as when it comes to black folks, we live in San Diego, we live in Fresno, we live in the Bay Area, we live out in Sac, and that's pretty much it, man. That's where you're gonna find the black folks out in the valley areas where the population centers of the valley, the population centers of the Bay Area, the population center of LA, LA County and San Diego, and then you'll see some like in Riverside and stuff like that in that area. But for the most part, the rest of the state, you'll find a lot of white folks, and you're gonna see Mexicans, bro. No matter where you go, you're gonna see Mexicans. Now, if you go into certain parts of the Sierra, you'll start running to like Native Americans and shit like that. But this motherfucking state is Mexican, bro. This state is Mexican. It's Mexican everywhere you go. Every corner, every other corner, you'll turn around as a Mexican restaurant. There's like 45 million Mexican restaurants in the state of California. You can't get away. People are like, where's good Mexican food, bro? So like, it's hard to find, bro. Because every other corner, there's a Mexican restaurant. There are so many Mexican restaurants in California, man. I'm not joking. People are like, well, how do you know what you want to go? It's hard, bro. It's hard. You'll see Mexican restaurants in a shopping center. You'll see 3 or 4 Mexican restaurants in a shopping center, and then you'll see one across. You'll see like 1 or 2 across the street, and then like a couple of blocks down, you'll see another one, and then another one, and then another one. And you can go to any little small town. If you see a small town like 100,000 people, you may find 30, 40, maybe 50 Mexican restaurants. There's a small town of about 20,000 people, and there's about 30 Mexican restaurants in that little small town. I'm not joking, man. You can't, because this is their state. So the majority restaurants you're gonna come across are gonna be Mexican. That's how California is, man.
Well, we got a lot of Dominican restaurants over here, Spanish, and I'm happy to see that. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I wish the Mexicans, instead of instead of delivering, I don't know if they're citizens or not, but instead of delivering for all of these Chinese stores and these pizza shops, get money together and open up your own Mexican spots, because I'm sure the people in the neighborhoods, black people in particular, they will support that, because I'm just sick of this fucking Chinese food, man. That was my show last week. Why the fuck are we still eating Chinese food? It's poison and it's not real Chinese food. We're getting poison and we're doing it for cheap. And this is the shit I'm talking about. Chinese food falls in the same category as McDonald's to me. It does. I don't give a fuck if they steaming up their vegetables. We don't even know if that's General Tso's chicken. For all I know, that's cat. There was literally on 173rd Street back in the early 90s, they closed down a Chinese restaurant right up the street from my ex-girlfriend's house. They were literally serving people cat. They got caught out there. It was in the paper and everything. In the early 90s, it was like 91, 92, and they closed it down. And I fucking ate from there one day. Okay, a few days. I'm not even going to front. I'm not even going to hold you on that. That shit made the paper. I said, what happened to the shop? They said, it closed down. Looking in the Daily News there, they were serving cat. Literally, serving cat. Niggas like, yo, I guess that cat tastes good. But I'm saying, no one could tell. So it makes you wonder. All of their food looking like, I mean, really, with chicken and broccoli, I've never cooked chicken to the point where it looked like that and tastes like that. I mean, what's really in it, man? A bunch of MSG, man, get the fuck out of here. This is what they're serving us. And they get together and they make a chain and they call it different names. You understand what I'm saying? But the menus are all identical. The prices are pretty much identical. Depending on which neighborhood you're in, it might be 50 cents difference. But it's all identical. So again, with all this stress of being black, and then you're consuming their food. I'm not gonna eat McDonald's. I'm gonna go eat Ho Sung Pak's fucking chicken and rice. Do that shit for 5 years and then tell me how your blood pressure is. Get out of here, man. It's all relevant, man. It's all relevant. So I'm gonna bring the conversation full circle. Pauli, how many Chinese restaurants are in Bensonhurst? Pauli, are they on every corner? Are they all in every corner like they are in the hood? Because I guarantee you, in the hood, you'll find 3 things in a 3-block radius. Well, 4 things. You'll find a fast food chain like a McDonald's. You'll find a bodega. You'll find a liquor store, and you'll find a Chinese a restaurant. And I'm not even lying. That's only in the black neighborhoods. The liquor stores in Greenwich, Connecticut, there'll be like one, and it's not called the liquor spot. It don't have no fancy name. It'll have some French name on it, and everybody in there will be white with a suit on. How can I help you? Would you like some Cabernet Sauvignon? But you go to the hood, the liquor spot will have a wino in front of it, and the motherfucker serving you is behind bulletproof glass. That's the difference.
That's no different than what out here, bro. Whether it's in Richmond, California, Oakland, California, San Francisco and Fillmore, Hunters Point. If you go to them type of areas like that, Stockton, California, out in the valley, Sacramento, same thing. You go to in those places, man, whatever it is where majority of black folks live, you're gonna see liquor stores all over the place, man. Liquor stores, and then you'll see like a Church's Chicken, man. Liquor stores, Church's Chicken. You know damn well that you're gonna see a whole bunch of liquor stores from there.
Out here in Jersey, it's not here no more. Well, I don't know if it's there no more, but about 10 years ago, there was a spot in Jersey. It was just called Liquor and Chicken. They served the liquor and chicken. And it was in, guess what? I'll give you, where do you think it was in? What neighborhood do you think it was in?
Black neighborhood?
Yeah. Liquor and chicken. You know, I was like,
hey, they fried chicken at gas stations out here, man. Gas stations, aka corner store, aka liquor store, stuff like that. So I'm being dead ass serious. Biscuits, all that stuff, bro.
Liquor and chicken.
Big Fernando over there cracking up.
Yo, I'ma fucking go to Bensonhurst and I'm gonna open up a spot and I'm fucking, I don't know, fine wine and lasagna. Is that racist? Fucking assholes.
I mean,
And of
Hey man,
course,
that
of course,
Italian
who
food,
owned the
that
place?
Italian food ain't healthy, bro.
that dumb
Who
shit.
who owned that place? Liquor and Chicken. It was behind the fucking plexiglass was a Arab. You
Yeah,
see?
funny thing out here, all the liquor stores are owned by Koreans and Indians and some Arabs and every now and then Chinese. But all the funny thing is, most of the beauty supply stores are owned by Chinese out this way. Now we have a couple that are owned by some Nigerians and one by a sister from around here. But for the most part, they're owned by Chinese. Chinese own all the goddamn beauty supply stores. The funny thing is, and then there'll be like Mexicans, as employees.
Let me ask you a question though, man, because I don't quite understand. Why is that racist though? That they own those businesses? I don't get the race.
Why?
Why
Why? Because what happens is that those places, the owners of those stores, mistreat black folks. So,
they
I mean,
were?
but the funny thing is, I look at it this: stop patronizing those stores when they
Right.
mistreat your ass. Black folks sit there and they forgive the owners of the store for mistreating them. They go right back into the store. They said, "Well, we don't have no." I said, "Well, why don't all of you guys get together as a community and start a beauty supply store or something like that?" But at the end of the day, you guys don't care. You guys don't care that you get mistreated by those store owners. It happens all of the time, and
Yeah, but
it don't matter. And they sit there and be right back there in line the next day.
I mean, I lived in black neighborhoods as an adult. Close by them and go buy where I can find black business. But for the most part, like in Kansas City, they pour into the Italian. Hey, there's an Italian owned one. Actually, I think it's Italian owned in the corner. It's like they get most of that. They get most of the businesses in that area. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money going through there, man. I don't understand. I think that's more, could have something to do with us and people that have the money not going to those neighborhoods and starting businesses in those neighborhoods. Because I know there are people with enough money to be able to afford it, but maybe most times people that could afford it might leave because they have maybe corporate jobs or something. I don't know, man. I've seen some. Yeah, I just haven't. I've seen some like in Kansas City. I have seen some black-owned spots like that, or at least spots where black people work. That seems like a problem we could solve, man. Lim C said, "Fanon, you still live in the Midwest?" No, I live in the South, the great state of Texas. Down by City Market, yeah. Some got mango by. Let me read these super chats, man. I'm sorry to cut you off, man. Let me read these super chats. That's what I wanted to get to. Nola Danke said, "Love the shows, guys. Headed to the try game, man. Much love. Thank you so much for supporting the super chat." Mahari Nation said, "If you guys visit Minneapolis today, it's literally a Somali community nearby the University of Minnesota campus. You guys will be surprised. I wouldn't even. A lot of Ethiopians and Somalians in DC own a lot of there's a big community out there. Wally, the Scott Bay, respect boxing or not, 100. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Time to Annie Up says in Paulie's neighborhood they have marinara fountains and drink machines. So, hey, Callie, how would you solve that problem if you accept my proposition that that's something we need to solve?
You talking about how to resolve? You talking about
like getting black businesses into? You would need black businesses to be open in those areas. Otherwise, obviously the need for the business is there because people are supporting them. But when those white people in there, that
community investing,
food shits like that, whole food stores and stuff.
The community investing. I mean, one thing I've seen, we talking about food shortages. One thing I've seen, which is taking place in places like Oakland and Berkeley, is that you see like a lot of black folks, they'll go purchase a little small parcel of land, and then they'll turn to like a vacant area where a home was burnt down, which will be a parcel of land, and they'll turn that into a vegetable garden. And so that's what's been happening out here. So black folks are able to, eat healthier and things of that nature. But as far as like black beauty supply stores, just takes a community investment, man. I mean, all the folks that like to spend, because I mean, you see a lot of sisters that like to go buy like wigs and shit like that. Them wigs are expensive. Those wigs that end up costing like $100 and shit like that. I was like, the fuck are you doing? Because I saw when I went with my cousin, she went there, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I went in and with my girl, and she went over there, and she was looking too. I was like, why'd you buy that shit? That shit's like $100 and some dollars. Don't leave that shit alone. So like, dude, just wear your hair the way it is anyway. But and to me, it's like all the women that are spending a whole bunch of money that pour in probably, I don't know, they probably pour at least $200, $300, $400 every 2 weeks. If all the sisters, there'd be hundreds of sisters. If they all got together and put their money together, and maybe even went to go seek another outside investor that was black, they can probably get together and start their own business. They got enough people in the area to support that store. So I mean, if it's just the will of wanting to get together and band together. But unfortunately, a lot of black folks in some areas, in some situations, don't really get along. Like we'll fight each other before we'll fight somebody else in a lot of cases. So it just takes the cooperation and the will to want to do something like that. Are people willing to do that? And then funny thing though too is a lot of times it's unfortunate, but it's true. We'll perceive that the black beauty supply store owned by the Asian as to be superior because it's owned by somebody that's not black, instead of us wanting to go patronize that store by our own people and keep that money within the neighborhood. Because the downside of us patronizing a store like that's owned by someone of another ethnicity, 9 times out of 10, that person doesn't even live in the neighborhood. So all of that money that's being poured into that store is being taken out of that store and circulated within a different neighborhood. So that money doesn't come back and help the neighborhood. So it is important for us to make sure that we, make sure we get that our investors come from our neighborhood, and we make sure that money circulates within that neighborhood. That's why I think it's important to try to find investors within the community. And even if it's an investor outside of the neighborhood, if it's somebody who's of our same ethnicity, of our same black, then we can actually get that money to continue to circulate within the black community. I mean, are we there yet? But that takes a blueprint. It takes a blueprint and somebody willing to map it out and then willing to execute it. But it's going to take all hands on deck, and it's going to take everyone being able to cooperate and work together. And it takes trust, and that's something that we would have to develop, and something that we would have to convince everybody to trust one another, and we will need everybody to be focused on the task at hand. Is everybody there? I don't know, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, man. So, man, boxing question, dude. Before we get out, because we got a little bit more time left, man. Let's try to talk a little boxing, man. What's your take, man, Drew Titan, on who would win, Floyd Mayweather Jr. in his prime or Errol Spence Jr. in his prime? But let me get this, because I know there was an abrupt shift. Let me get the super chats real quick. Curtis Burner, man, much love. Thank you so much, man, for your support in the super chat. And Gregory Wise said these sisters spend a handsome ransom for their hair, hats, and war pants. You ain't gonna that, dog. Lord have mercy. There's a lot of money on that, man. So who you got, Drew?
Okay, well, real quick, I think the Liquor and Chicken was in Jersey City. I'm not sure, but my friend lives out there. He told me up.
Liquor, grease, and chicken.
Liquor and Chicken. Wow, that's a tough one. A prime Floyd. When did Floyd get out of his prime? Was that before or after Canelo? Because he looked real good in Canelo. But it's hard to say because at this point, we heard the rumblings before we even matched the name with the face. We heard rumblings that Floyd got his ass whooped in sparring, and it took 3 years for the truth to come out that it was Errol. And he got thrown out the gym or whatever, but he kept it professional because he never leaked the story. He ain't run to the internet and say, "Yo, I beat his ass and they threw me out the gym." He ain't do all of that. But then we found out that it happened. And then Floyd co-signed him and said, yo, this guy's the truth. And we started calling him the truth. So Prime Floyd, styles make fights. Oh boy, it's hard to bet against Floyd, but we also been saying only a Moore could beat Floyd. So I'm gonna go with Spence.
Only
a Moore, an old school African wealthy king could beat Floyd, because we seen him whoop on these Mexicans and everybody else. But Zab gave him problems. Shane gave him problems, and although he won, he had those problems. DeMarcus Chop Corley gave him problems. Although he won, he had problems. The word we got out of the gym was Errol not only gave him problems, but whooped his ass to the point where they had to stop it. And then they threw him out the gym for being too rough. But we all seen or heard about Floyd's infamous sparring, and he was taking sparring partners apart. It just came to the point where Errol wasn't having that shit. So he fought back and whooped Floyd's ass. That's the word. And no one's denied it. So it's truth. The truth. So I'm gonna go with Errol. I'll go with Errol. Prime Floyd, prime Errol's in the prime now. I'll go with Errol.
Callie?
I got Errol Spence beating the shit out of Floyd. Fuck Floyd. Floyd as a whole. I would hope that Errol Spence would break his ribs, bust him in the mouth, and make him cry, and make him fucking leave the sport. So Errol Spence by murder. Fuck Floyd Mayweather. He's a bitch, and that's where I stand.
Damn, man, I don't believe y'all Floyd like that, man.
Read what Fahim said. Read what Fahim said. Just
I don't see it. What did he read? What did he say?
Wait, let me go pull it up. He said, I was just looking at it. The brother Fahim, he's wrenched up.
Floyd beats the shit out of Errol.
He beats the shit out of Errol. All right, man. Okay, he's entitled to his opinion.
I don't know, man. In the prime, I might edge out for Floyd. I can't disrespect Floyd. Although
yes, you can. Yes, you can, Fanon. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Fuck Floyd.
His prime is at 135 pounds, so he's a little ass dude, man. You know what I mean? And he did have a welterweight division. He didn't really beat nobody. The best win at welterweight or above is Canelo. You know, and Canelo ain't a pressure fighter. So I think there's a lot of real smart moves that Floyd did, but still, I mean, hey, man, it's Floyd. Floyd can fight, dude. Floyd can fight.
And Floyd also eats coon flakes every day. So, I mean, that counts against him already.
I know triangle theories don't work, but who's a better fighter on the inside, Marcos Maidana or Errol Spence Jr.?
Errol.
Okay, so Marcos gave Floyd a lot of problems. Even in the rematch, he gave him a lot of problems. You saw some things there. Now, was Floyd agent?
I don't think that's a prime Floyd with Maidana.
Now, I understand that, but a prime Floyd is also 135 pounds, and Errol walks around like 160.
Yeah, it's a size thing. It's definitely size.
Yeah, so and I know we don't like to refer to sparring, but the kid got thrown out the gym for beating the shit out of him. And Floyd co-signed him. Floyd co-signed him.
See the argument, and I might, but seriously, man, I ain't about to walk off this panel and have everybody pick Errol. I got it. Y'all leaving the money out on the table for me to be right, so I have to play that side. I'll play that side today. Now, would I want to win? I want Errol to win because I like Errol. But Floyd can fight, man. Floyd ain't easy money, dude. In a 12 round fight, he's not, and that is sparring. So I can only put so much on that. But the fact that we're having a conversation about whether he could or not, that's what do you think about Sean Porter and Floyd then, Drew?
At this point right now, it would be tough for Floyd. Floyd's what, 43, 42?
Right now, in their prime.
In the prime? The Canelo the Floyd that fought Canelo, I think he washed his point.
Whatever you think is.
Floyd looked outstanding in that fight, and that's because Canelo fought him in a way that we didn't think he was going to fight him. It's like when he fought Gaddy tried to outbox Floyd, and I said no. He should have. The old Gaddy should have came out, just balls to the wall, rush him, try and corner him, and try and land something. Glenn Johnson didn't try to outbox Roy. He ran at him. He closed the distance and got Roy out of there. So Sean Porter would more than likely try and do the same thing, but Floyd, in a prime Floyd, is smarter than that. He's too athletic. He would show Sean angles. He'd have him tripping over his own feet, and it'd be tough, but it'd be a 12-round UD. And I'm not saying that because I think Sean is a coon now. I'm not saying that. I'm just being real.
Then why the LDBC so quick to call people coons when they do coonish type of things?
Yeah, I'm mad at them. I'm speaking out of anger. I'm speaking out of anger.
I'm playing LDBC hater right now. Just so you
know.
know.
You know what? The funny thing is, though, Sean Porter been cooning too. So fuck them both. That's where I'm at right now. So I don't.
You know what it is. You know what it is.
Trying his best.
I can't get over that Larry Merchant. That Larry Merchant shit I caught immediately, and I can't get over that. When they put the camera back and he was smiling, shaking his head in a yes position, I said, God damn it. Is he just absent right now and just accepting the moment, or is he just really co-signing with this guy?
Sean Ben got on the coon train, bro. I mean, everybody should see it. He been on the coon train. He hopped on that motherfucker a while ago. Ooh. And now he just keeps reminding everybody, I'm on the train too. You know, can I get props like Tim Bradley? Tim Bradley is just louder about his coonish behavior. And so is Floyd Mayweather.
You talking about Floyd Mayweather?
I said Sean Porter is not as loud as Floyd Mayweather when it comes to the cooning, but he's still been on the coon train for a while. You know, he got a pass and then he started cooning some more.
Being a coon, that's such a strong word. What because he got big teeth and smiles? I mean,
the motherfucker, man, if Sean bit me, I'd lose my fucking mind. He got a barracuda mouth, man. Fuck out of here, Sean.
Coon though. I want to understand, man. I don't understand. What do you do?
When you smile after Larry Merchant openly insults the entire black race, I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that.
Dillian White.
Right, exactly. If Dillian White, after his father said that shit, Master Hearn, if Dillian White, all Dillian White had to do was just lean over and just say, yo, look, chill. Then I'd have known, okay, he's up on shit. If he'd have just got up and walked off the stage, I'd have been like, okay, he's up on shit. But he stood there and he sat there and smiled like a robot. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with Sean Porter sitting there like a fucking robot. Well, not even a robot, just shaking his head, smiling from ear to ear with all those teeth and shaking his head. Yes, last black hope. Come on, dogs. If Sean would have just sat back, folded his arms, and wiped the smile off his face, and just let us know, yo, I heard what he said, man. I ain't co-sign. I'm sitting here being professional because I'm on the payroll, but I heard what this motherfucker said. Get out of here, man. Oh, and that comment I read what Fahim said. Fahim, the brother said that was after Floyd did that jail time. Look, brother, I hear what you're saying. I know where you're trying to go. Jail time or not, I'm not hearing that. It's not like Floyd did like 10 years and was in hard labor and was in bad health and then jumped in the ring with Errol and got his ass whooped. No. Floyd went on to win fights after that jail time. I'm not hearing that. The word on the street is, and it's confirmed, that Errol beat his ass. No excuses. Errol beat his ass. It was thrown out of the gym. They never did that to any other sparring partner. Errol beat his ass. And Floyd co-signed him. Floyd is the one that started calling him the truth. He did that. That's documented, man. He fucked him up. So I'm based off of the evidence and off the eye test and off of the record. I'm just going to have to go with Errol. Prime for prime. Go with Errol. He's a bigger dude.
I just want to, put the pause on the. I don't think that's. I think y'all being a little harsh, man. I think you're a little harsh on Showtime Sean, dog. I think you're being a little harsh on Showtime Sean.
Yeah, well, he has big teeth.
There's a question.
I'm good. I'm
Let me get this. Let me get the super chats, man. Really appreciate y'all. A young Rao said, who would have won the dream matches? Mike versus George, Frazier versus Joe Louis. Joe Frazier. Mike versus Joe Frazier. And Roy Jones Jr. versus Joe Louis. Mike Tyson versus Joe Frazier. I think I might take Mike Tyson. Joe Louis versus Roy Jones Jr. Man, Joe Louis knock his ass in the head.
Too big, man.
Pop his head through the fucking steel. God.
Wait a minute.
Why are you putting Roy Jones against the fucking heavyweight? I mean, I understand he fought.
Roy came in at 199. Joe Louis at his heaviest was what, 205?
Yeah.
So
that was one fight, man. One fight. Yeah. And we're talking about an all-time great heavyweight. We're not talking about
who you got? Let's do this one at a time. Who do you have, Callie, on those two fights?
Man, I got Joe Louis, and then what was the other one? It was Mike Tyson versus Joe Frazier. I got Joe Frazier. I got Joe Frazier and Joe Louis.
What?
Yep.
You talked over me, man. I didn't hear your answer. You said it while I was talking.
I said I got Frazier and Louis.
Frazier. Oh, so Joe Frazier and Joe
Louis. Yep.
Cool. Who you got there?
I got Mike stopping Joe, and I got Roy Jones UD over Joe Louis. Come on, man. That Roy Jones that fought John Ruiz. I mean, really, go look at that fight, man.
That's John Ruiz, though. That's John Ruiz.
Okay, I understand that. But leading up to that, prior to the Tarver debacle, leading up to that, I know it sounds blasphemous, but Roy was on some shit, man. Even at 175, he was on some shit. Do you think that Joe Louis would have been able to catch him?
Knock his ass square fuck.
Yeah, I got Roy Jones getting that. Remember what happened, and remember what happened to him after he fought Tarver, and he went and fought it wasn't Gary. What was the fuck his name again? I forgot.
Glenn Johnson. It was Glenn Johnson.
Glenn Johnson. Glenn Cove Johnson. Remember when that Glenn Cove Johnson? That's what happened to him.
Let me paint this picture.
Hey,
let me paint this picture.
Let's not talk over the top of each other.
Sorry about that.
Oh, my bad. No, let me paint this picture. Roy at that this is going to be kind of fucked up and it's unfair, but I believe Roy was juicing at that time. As a matter of fact, when he fought Eric Hardin, I think they both popped dirty, but being that they both popped dirty, they went ahead and fought anyway. If I remember correctly, it might have been Eric Hardin. I don't remember really, but Roy was on some shit. He was Superman. So if that version of Roy Jones shows up, I mean, I don't know how Joe's going to catch him. Now, I'm not saying that he completely washes Joe Louis. I'm just saying that he beats him. I'm not saying he beats the shit out of Louis. I'm saying he does enough to win. You dig what I'm saying? Stylistically, man, because there was nobody fighting like Roy Jones back when Joe Louis was fighting. They would literally be in the ring like, yo, what the fuck are we looking at? It would take him a few rounds to even adjust. Now, could he adjust? Absolutely. Is it true that you had to land clean on Roy to knock him out? Absolutely. Could Joe do it? Absolutely. But I have Roy winning unanimous decision. 10-9 rounds straight up. Oh, and that's another thing. Back then, it was 15 rounds. So what rules are we basing it off of? There's a lot of intangibles. Man.
Yeah, okay. If he's fighting back then, he probably ain't on no steroids either.
True. But if Joe Louis is fighting today, is he even a heavyweight?
Yes.
Yeah, he would probably put on another 20 pounds, bro.
And he knocks fucking these motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
He'd be bigger than fucking Povetkin, and he will knock these motherfuckers out.
Facts.
Joe Louis will not, dude. Let me test you. Let me test your logic. Mm-hmm. Who wins, Roy Jones Jr. or Jack Johnson?
God damn it!
You're stuck.
Yeah.
Now you're stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now you gotta tell me you beat Jack Johnson.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. That shit ain't even fair, man. God damn it. You can't. And I ain't even gonna move the goalpost. I was about to go somewhere else with it. I ain't even gonna do that.
Go nowhere with it.
Yeah, you can't. I can't go nowhere. I can't.
I'll go one that's not even as bad for you. Roy Jones Jr. or Tommy Morrison.
Oh, come on.
Roy Jones. Tommy Morrison.
Oh my God.
Tommy Morrison like 230.
You know what? The truth of the matter is, Roy knew what heavyweight to go and pick on when he went up in weight.
Exactly.
And he also drained Ruiz. There was also something in that contract, if I remember correctly, that Ruiz couldn't come in over 220 or something like that. It was something crazy. Because Roy came in at 200, but on fight night he weighed in at like 199. You know, and he looked like a running back for that one fight. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I went to that fight. I saw Roy Jones Jr. the night before the fight. Went to the fight. Saw John Ruiz the night before the fight. Let me tell you, Roy Jones is a little ass dude. That night he looked like a little ass dude. I mean, he looked big. I was at the fight. He looked big at the fight, but in person, looked like a little dude, man. Dude, Joe Louis is going to knock his fucking head off. Knock his head clear off because Roy ain't got no chin.
You know what? Would you say that the era that they fought in would play a huge role?
I think
like
either way, Joe.
What about Floyd Patterson?
That's what I think.
What about Floyd Patterson?
Then he's gonna go to fucking sleep. Jump around that fucking ring, have motherfucker don't give a fuck, run straight up through him because he can't hurt him. But but now that motherfucker could crack now. He has some rock, but dog, he can't, like the guys at the smaller weight classes. He can, dude. They're gonna respect his game because he's got them big shots. But them big boys ain't gonna give a fuck. They're just gonna run right through him. I can literally see Joe Louis just get into a fucking track athlete stance. Just run right to his ass. I can't see it though.
No, what about Floyd Patterson?
And who?
And Roy.
Yeah, Floyd got a better chance. Roy got a better chance with Floyd Patterson because Floyd Patterson's a light heavyweight. He's like 175 pounds. He's smaller than Joe Louis is. He got a chance. Yeah,
I got one. Roy Jones versus Bob Foster.
Bob Foster.
Yeah, but easily, bro.
Because he's gonna touch that chin.
Yeah, how long was his reach? His reach was ridiculous.
Huh?
His reach was ridiculous.
Yeah, he's gonna touch that chin and his ass, and Roy going to fuck to sleep. The sheriff.
Yeah, we just shitting on Roy today, right? Damn.
So we talking about heavyweights.
It ain't Roy. We talking about size, bro. It's just the size matters at some point.
I'll throw Roy a bone. Okay, Roy versus Canelo.
Oh Jesus.
Roy by murder.
Roy
beats the shit out of him.
Murderate him. You know, but look, man, it's been a great conversation today, man. Thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. Hey, Callie, let them know how to get in contact with you, man. Oh, hold on. Before you do though, let me check one thing. I'm sorry.
Super chats.
Yeah, I gotta get the super chats. I screwed up. Said Floyd is in the Coon Train conductor. Sean and Ishe are just old school porters.
He said a conductor. I don't know about that. Jason Whitlock.
Sean and Ishe are just old school porters. They just serving people on Floyd's Coon Train. That's fucked up. I don't know, man. Now Ishe went over the line for me, man. But Sean, I don't see that as Sean. I don't see it, but hey, man, what we see is what we see. All right, Drew. So what about young Ali versus Roy Jones Jr.? Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Man, Ali smashes him. Kidding me?
Young Ali is the GOAT, bro. Young Ali is better than anybody. Period. We got robbed. The Ali that we saw fight and who dominated and beat George Foreman and beat Frazier, and I mean that Ali after the layoff was still great, but the Ali before that beats that Ali. That Ali was the greatest thing that we've ever seen. Period. We were robbed of the greatest Muhammad Ali because that dude, you still ain't seen nothing like that. You wouldn't probably never will. I don't know. At least probably not in my lifetime. That's the greatest thing that boxing has ever seen.
Yeah, it's a badass dude, man. My man, we got us on the boxing. Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. Man, here he's crying, laughing on this. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Yeah.
Homicide, first degree murder by Mike Tyson. It's sad what happens. He puts Roy Jones in the morgue immediately. So we just go straight to the morgue, not to even the hospital. No try to recovery. Take him straight to the morgue. That's what happens.
All right, I'm gonna give y'all something difficult then. Since y'all we doing this, and I got shit. We in a quarantine. We got shit to do. Let me give you a difficult one. Roy Jones Jr. versus. Damn, I can't even find one. Roy is pretty fucking good. Roy Jones Jr. versus James Toney at heavyweight.
Woo! That's a good one.
Same outcome. Same outcome. The exact same outcome. And I got love for James, man. Every time I stepped in the ring, I tried to emulate what man, but
okay, you're back.
Ain't work out too well. But I got love for James, but
Roy in the gym.
James.
I don't know.
I tried to be James Toney in the gym.
Oh, go ahead.
I tried to be James in the gym. You got to perfect that shoulder roll because. I was saying you got to perfect the shoulder roll. You got to be doing it for a few years. You can't just watch it and get nice at it because if you do it wrong, you get hit all on top of your fucking head, and that shit hurt after a while. You know what I mean? So I got love for James, but same outcome at heavyweight. Roy beats him.
Callie?
Oh no, I think that's a little tougher fight at heavyweight. As James Toney has admitted himself, he says that he should have fought at heavyweight from the beginning. He said that was his real weight. He says that when he used to play football, and when he played football, he weighed over 200 pounds, and that he had cut down weight. And he says that if he could do it again, he said he would have started off at heavyweight. I don't know, man. That's one where I really got to sit back and think. When you start to think about at a guy who says that his optimal weight was heavyweight from the get-go because that's his natural weight is 200 plus pounds. I don't know. It might be different. That fight might be different. Thinking about it, a prime James Toney at heavyweight with his skills. I don't know. I don't think it's that easy. I understand what people are saying, same results. I don't know about that. Man.
Hold on, man. Lim C. Did I just see Lim C see what you said? Did you say that? I can't believe Lim C said what Lim C said. Did you really say back then that Larry Holmes was a better copy of Muhammad Ali?
He said who?
I think he said Larry Holmes was a better copy of Muhammad Ali.
Stop, bro. Stop. He must have never seen Muhammad Ali before the layoff. Because Muhammad Ali before the layoff, bro, as much as I like Larry Holmes, he couldn't even sniff his jock strap, bro. Not even close. That Muhammad Ali is so much better than everybody else. It's not even funny. Go watch Muhammad Ali prior to the layoff. For real. I'm not joking. And he didn't even get a chance to really enter his prime yet of what he was going to be with the foot speed, the hand speed. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I'm telling you, we were robbed of Muhammad Ali that we were going to see some otherworldly figure. We already were seeing it. We already did see it. But what we would have seen with more experience, shit. Boy, I'm telling you, man, he's not. No, he's not. Hell no.
Let's see. Look, man. Larry Holmes held the belt for 5 years. Okay, he held the belt for 5 years. Muhammad Ali held the belt from 1963 to 1968, which is 4 years. And then from 1972 to 1978, which was 6 years. So that's 10 years of times in which Muhammad Ali held the championship. He's also the From that, he held it two of them, 2 stretches. One from the early 60s to when the Vietnam stuff happened, and then when he beat Foreman, all the way to when he fought in 1974, all the way to like 1979 when he gave it up and retired after the second Leon Spinks fight. Dude, there's literally no comparison, dog, whatsoever between the career of Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali, other than he got to 49-0, which was his thing. He got to 49-0 before he got robbed by I thought he got robbed against Michael Spinks. But regardless, dude, no, man. Come on, man. There's no his best win in his career, the best win category. Come on. This dude upset Sonny Liston and George Foreman. It's just really, it's not even a comparison, man. I appreciate though that you saying that and you having the balls to get that out your mouth. I mean, that took real courage to put yourself out on the limb.
But think about it. How about the Ali before, pre the whole Vietnam shit versus Larry Holmes? Think about that Ali with that speed.
So hold on one second. I got to go with Lim for a second. Lim, that was 1980. Muhammad Ali was already done. He was done. He had Parkinson's disease. Okay, he was done. They're different ages. Okay, that was like 1980. He turned pro in the early He won Olympic gold medal in 1960. That fight was in 1980. Okay, 1960 Olympics, 1980 championships. That's 20 fucking years, dude. He was an old fighter by that time.
And he had Parkinson's in that Larry Holmes fight. He had Parkinson's in that fight.
Of course he did. He didn't throw a punch. He literally walked out there and Larry Holmes didn't even beat him up. That was a beautiful. I watched it. I was forced to watch that fight, but it was disgusting. But I noticed watching the fight, man, Larry Holmes wasn't even trying to beat him up, man. Larry Holmes just throwing jabs. He hit him. You know what I mean? He hit him, but he didn't hit him like he didn't do what Larry Holmes could have done. Larry Holmes carried him. Larry could have just walked up straight up to Muhammad Ali and beat him up terribly from the first round because he was completely defenseless. They sparred for years, so it makes the fight easier for Holmes. Man, stop, dude. He's an old man, dog. He's an old man. No subjectivity to the shit. He was 38 years old, and the dude was talking like this. They had been making jokes about his speech pattern for years. Man, stop. But I appreciate you having, the cojones to walk in here saying shit like that. I am just amazed. Let me send that back to Cali though, man. Arthur Beterbiev versus Triple G. Oh, that's an easy one.
No, Beterbiev by destruction, bro. Is that a real question? Beterbiev kills Triple G. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't even know if Triple G can make it out of the first 5 rounds. I was watching Canelo start to hurt him at times. Man, we think Beterbiev is a much bigger puncher, stronger, brutal puncher at 175, bro. We're talking about Triple G would have to go up 2 weight classes. He's going to go up there and get fucked up badly. That fight's going to be short. It's going to be a short night. He's going to brutally beat up and destroy Triple G. Triple G will probably retire after that fight, after the massacre that he would take. There's no way in the world that Triple G could hold up to the body work, to the headshots of Beterbiev, who's a big puncher at 175. Now, I think you're talking about when Triple G's fighting dudes at 160. We're talking about 15 pounds, man. 15-pound weight difference. One guy's a big puncher at 160. The other guy's a big puncher at 175. Destroying dudes. What the hell do you think don't happen? Triple G's going to get ran over like a Mack truck, bro. Not competitive. Not competitive at all, bro. I just don't. Who thought of that? That's not competitive at all.
Hey, man, he just wanted to hear about somebody obviously just wanted to hear something
competitive at all.
But look, man, let's get up out of here, man. Thank you, Drew Titan, man. Thank you to Cali Enigma, man. Everybody out. We'll check y'all out next week. Drew Titan, tell them how to get in contact with you.
Thank you for having me on, Fanon. Appreciate it. as usual. I am Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. You can find me right here on YouTube under the same name, Drew Titan. I do LDBC Strong. I focus on health and wellness, and I throw a little boxing in there. Also have a random pop-up stream. It could be anytime, anywhere. I interview fighters and trainers of the past and the present, and that's called LDBC Raw, Respect All Warriors. And you can follow me on Instagram under the same name. I'll be on tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be discussing what we was discussing today. You know, the fix has been in on the Black community as far as diet, so this COVID shit actually makes a lot of sense. But thanks for having me on, Fanon. That's what it is.
Get that super chat going. Get that super chat first, Fanon.
Thank you for the great super chat. That's much appreciated, Angela Wise. Go ahead, Callie. Let them know how to get in contact with you, man.
Yeah, you can find me at the Cali Sports Entertainment on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. I'm on all 4 platforms. I'm active on on the different ones at different times. Sometimes I'm active on 2. Depending on the day, I may be active on Twitter. Haven't been active on boxing as much on Twitter due to the whole COVID-19 shit, and me can't stand in either political party. So just looking at a bunch of people become hypocrites, and whole nother subject, real quick thing is watching the Democratic Party morph into the Republican Party. Well, to me, it's always been that, but that's a whole nother subject. But but anyways, thanks for letting me come on, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you too, Drew Titan, man. And where's Blood? Because I saw Blood last night. Blood, get your ass in here, man. You stop playing around, man. You know we need you and Fanon going back at it, debating and arguing, because that's what makes a show. You guys need to go. Then we need you to say that crazy shit that you be saying. We need you to say something reckless, because it's not. We haven't had OG boxing talk unless Blood says something that's totally out of pocket. That's that's totally fucking hilarious. So Blood, get your ass back on the show, man. We need you back on the show, brother.
Hey, Blood, stay your ass where the fuck you are, dog. Nah, that's my dude, Blood. Blood just don't like taking them L's. That's all right. L's are tough, dog. The L's are tough, man. But anyway, it is what it is. Much love. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.